Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yeah! Hey, welcome to the show. This is Pick Your Battles. Pick Your Battles! Where we go over 5. You can pick from a menu. We have a menu right here. We'll go over that in just a second. But we also have the option to BYOB, bring your own battle! You want to talk about anything? Anything at all. I'm like Frasier. You could just call me and just talk about anything. But really, we should stick to some of the things here that we've got prepared. It's pretty fun. You might have a good time. You never know. You never know. You might have a good time. You know, you might have fun. Of course, today, I'm sure a lot of you are really upset. The OnlyFans owner, Leonid Radvinsky, has died of cancer at 43 years old. 43 died of cancer. I wonder what that guy was doing. What kind of cancer did he get? What kind of coffee did he get? I don't like black coffee. It gives me that sugar. You want to give you that sugar. Not in vertical format. What? You don't like vertical format? You don't like vertical format? That's okay. You could go to morningsky.live/PYB. Pick your battles. morningsky.live/PYB. That's the jam. You can go right there. At 5 p.m., I just want to remind everybody, at 5 p.m. Pacific, I will be doing the last Vegan World radio show on FM. We are being moved to HD, and it's going to be a show about the freedom of speech and how people are silenced who want to bring the truth, how they are silenced. How does that keep happening? It's amazing. The links works for me, but not in vertical. Weird. Are you watching in vertical or horizontal right now? I don't know how you switch from one to the other, Parallelish. You have more understanding than I do. All right, so I did want to go ahead and put this up on there. Let's see if I can get this working here. The quote, here's a quote. Let's see if, here's a quote. Trans women are women, trans men are men, non-binary people are non-binary. This is not a debate. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's the AOC if you're nasty. Do you like her? Do you like her? How do you feel about her? You like her? I know you like her. You like her. You like her. Don't give me that shit like you don't like her. You like her. You think she's nice. You like her. I know you like her. You like Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Ocasio-Cortez. AOC. No one calls her Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah. Sky likes regular YouTube. Yeah, I like the regular. I don't know what you mean by regular YouTube, guys. I don't know what you mean. I know you like her, but did you like that quote from her? Should I put it on the screen again? There it is. She says that trans women are women, trans men are men, non-binary people are non-binary. Interesting, right? Do you think she's right? She says that science of sex and gender is more complex than a binary, and the lived experience of trans women is not a political opinion. It's a human reality. Denying it doesn't protect women it just decides which women count. Which women count? You get to decide. Chromosomal variation, intersex conditions, hormonal diversity, and neurological difference are documented across human biology. And just look at the chromosomes argument fails on its own scientific terms. Sex is a spectrum of biological traits, not a two-position switch. Wow. Trans women are women. That's the first one. AOC is adult. Oh my gosh. You think she's adult? Well, you could come on the show. That sounds like a that sounds like a claim. You can come on the show, BYOB. Bring your own battle. Go to morningsky.live/PYB and join the chat. Morningsky.live/PYB. Join the chat. That's pick your battles. Morningsky.live/pick your battles, PYB. Why do Republicans care so much about other people's genitals? That's a great question. Why do they care? Well, I think it's because they don't want to be treated like women. You see, what is a woman? I think a woman is someone who has been regularly beaten or oppressed or both, brutalized, victimized, held back, held down, raped. That if you are one of those, you might be a woman. If you have those criteria, you might be one. And I think that's the scariest thing for men. Men in power do not want to be women, and so they denigrate all men who do want to be like women. They don't like it. They don't like that idea. They're obsessed. They're obsessed with it. Obsessed. Trump is winning. He's winning. You love ICE and airports. Big win. Why don't you call up? You can tell me why you think that's okay. Of course, it's not at all. But hey, whatever, bro. Oh, looks, we have Buddy Pal in the chat. Buddy Pal is in the chat. Buddy Pal, could you I forget your age. Let's just keep up with the tradition. Put your age in the private chat, please, and tell me if you have something on the menu that you want to talk about. Thank you so much. There's no necessary condition to be a woman. I don't know. I think it's about status or class, isn't it? In America, what's a woman? Someone who is a second-class citizen who's brutalized and oppressed by men? That sounds like as good a definition as any. You have your own question. All right, Buddy Pal, here we go. We got a wild card over here, a BYOB. Great. ICE is the American Gestapo is number 2. We're gonna go over the other. We'll go over the other ones. Let's bring on Buddy Pal. We got a caller. Hold on 1 second for me, Buddy Pal. Let's get you sorted. Here you go, Buddy Pal. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, Sky?
Man, I am kicking like a 3-legged ninja. This is my first show of the day, and it's a new batch of menu items, so I'm excited.
All right. So I have a political question for you.
Yes.
Currently in Virginia, there's a ballot initiative, I guess. There's some sort of vote happening where if you vote now, between now and April 21st, the Democrats are trying to change the lines for voting, the congressional lines, I guess.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the district lines.
District lines that they're they're changing in Texas and California and stuff like that.
Yep, for sure. The congressional district lines. I got you.
My question is, so a committee of 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats.
Yeah.
They do this every 10 years.
Yeah.
And they draw the lines.
They do.
And I understand why the Democrats are, because there's a Democrat in power. The Democrats are in power now in Virginia.
Yeah, they have a Democrat governor. I would just call Virginia is pretty divided. So to call them in power, like they have a Democratic governor, but they usually have like it's complicated in Virginia.
It's about 55%.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. It's about because of the urban crescent up there in like Alexandria and all that. I got you. What's the deal? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's kind of personally, I think it's wrong because if the other side was doing it, we'd say, oh, this is what they do. This is trying to cheat the system. So why is it we can do it the other way just because they're doing it in other states? That's what I'm thinking. So
yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because California redistricted, right? They did it with the with a ballot initiative where the people decided. It was a popular vote amongst the people of California. So, and when that happened, I thought, well, this is bullshit. We're supposed to have a bipartisan commission. And Virginia has a similar thing. The amendment, but they're trying to amend they're trying to make an amendment that would let the commission be sidelined because other states have already redistricted for 2026 outside the usual once per decade cycle. So I'm looking at how they're doing this, and that's the same kind of thing. It looks like they're doing the same thing California did. The proposal has more steps to go before it could be in place in time for the 2026 midterms. In addition, the approval from the legislature, the redistricting would require voter approval of an amendment to Virginia's constitution. They're trying to amend the constitution that would redistrict for this to approve has yet to approve the special election. They haven't. Spanberger has not approved the special election yet. She has to do it by February 11th. How was that? Oh, so it's still going on. I'm just reading an old article. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're trying to use a loophole to, I think, undermine our democracy. This is something that when it happened in California, I really didn't want to vote for it. I was like, wait a second, we have a commission that does it every 10 years. Why are we doing this bullshit where we're redistricting just because Texas does it? Well, Texas did it illegally. Texas didn't ask the people. Texas just decided because they had the votes in the House to do it, and it turned out to be unconstitutional. These guys are trying to give it to the voters. What do you think about that? Do you think that a voter initiative is more democratic than just the state legislature deciding that they're going to change the districts?
I think it's a thing where, if one side does it one year, the next year, the other side's going to want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So It's just like, I think it's ridiculous. All the MAGAs want to vote against it.
Yeah.
And I don't see why I shouldn't either, because I think it's kind of BS.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, to be honest. It's like, but I guess, like, how do you hold on to those principles when the Democrats are not able to do anything? Like, the Democrats right now have a low approval rating because they can't do shit. And the Democrats are like, well, if we had a majority in Congress or a majority in the Senate, we might actually be able to do something. And everyone's mad because no one's standing up to Donald Trump. So how do you get that done? Well, there's legislative processes, right? So if you amend the Constitution to allow it, how does that negatively affect the democratic process? What do you think?
Well, I think there's a system in place, and if they want to change the system, then they have to make not a special kind of election. They have to make a change to how the actual Constitution of Virginia reads, or
but that's what they're doing.
Whatever it's in. So,
but Buddy Pal, that's what they're doing. They're doing a Hail Mary to change the Constitution in time for the midterms, so that Donald Trump and his fascist friends don't sink in, so they don't grow roots where they are. They're trying to kill it in the crib, if you will. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how I got there with California. I was like, okay, California, we have a law on the books that says every 10 years a bipartisan commission redraws the district lines. That's in our Constitution. In order to change the amendment of our Constitution, we have to go to the voters. The people themselves have to decide. And so we all got ballots in our mailboxes, and it weighed heavily on me. I got to be honest with you, because I don't like the fact just because they're doing it in the middle of a decade, does that mean we have to do it? Why don't we do it every year then? And then I'm starting to think, well, you know what? The genie's already out of the bottle. It's kind of like, I don't know. Do you remember when MP3s came out and the people who were selling CDs still wanted to sell CDs, and it's like, well, dude, the genie's out of the bottle. MP3s are the future, and we're going to be able to share them and send them to each other. You got to figure out some other way to get our money for music. I feel like that's happened. Once Texas broke that law, at least these people are doing it, at least California and Virginia are doing it by the book. Isn't that worth something?
I guess I don't know enough details about it. Like, before it was a 3 Republican, 3 Democratic commission. Is that how it's going to stay? Or is there some other thing in there where, the party and rule has extra say or something like that? I don't know.
I think let me get up the The Virginia amendment for redistricting.
It wasn't clear. I visited the website about it, and it wasn't clear. They don't go into the super details about it, but just at face value, it seemed like it was just like, why are we doing it just because the other side's doing it, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, well, why are we doing it is because the other side's doing it, right? Sometimes people force your hand, right? There's a statewide referendum on the proposed change to the way the state draws its congressional map. All right, this is from the Virginia Independent. Elect new U.S. representatives if voters approve the Constitution amendment on April 21st. So it's coming up. Are you going to vote?
I haven't decided yet. So.
Well, you got to vote one way or the other if you want to do your civic duty. All right, let's see. Republicans actually hold a majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. It's 218 to 214. Virginia's congressional delegate is 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans. So there are more Democrats than Republicans already going to Washington from Virginia. And it will change the makeup of the United States House of Representatives. Supporters say that in addition to creating a level national playing field, approval of the referendum could mean the next Congress would be more responsible to the issues they care about. After President Donald Trump successfully pressured Republican states, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina. This is the thing. They're doing mid-decade gerrymanders. See, I didn't know Missouri actually happened. Shit. So Texas, Missouri, North Carolina. Will change the Virginia Constitution to temporarily allow the lawmakers to redraw maps to restore balance nationally in the congressional district map. So it sounds like it's very similar to what we did in California. So in California, we did it temporarily, gives them the opportunity to change it this time. And then it goes back to normal after this. Their proposed new map designed to elect 10 Democrats and 1 Republican would automatically go into effect if voters approve the ballot initiative and could determine who controls Congress in 2027. All 5 state Virginia House Republicans oppose the amendment, of course. Rob Whitman said in a Feb 5 statement, the political competition elsewhere does not require abandoning the established process at home. See, this is exactly how I felt about it. It doesn't require us to give up our principles here just because somebody else is doing it. But voting yes on the referendum helps ensure fairness for federal workers and contractors because Virginia's members of Congress will better protect federal workers from the attempts to shut down or cut federal agencies. This is the thing, man. I just don't know. I put myself in the position of if I were alive during 1936 Germany and there was like, hey, because people knew at that point, man, the Olympics had happened. Hitler was saying some crazy stuff about Jesse Owens and stuff. Like, clearly they knew what was going to happen. And they're saying, okay, we're going to have this temporary fix. Do you trust them? I don't. I still think that it's not going to go back to normal, to be honest. I don't think it's going to go back to normal in California. They say it will.
Yeah, the thing is, even if I would vote for what the Democrats want and go against, my fairness, like morals, I guess, or something like that. I know, and let's just say it doesn't get passed and stuff stays the same way. Yeah. I still see the other side like going like, oh, this is our tactic too. Like we're gonna do the exact same thing. Like
it's an arms race, right? You're right. Okay, well then they'll just do. But the thing is, if someone's pointing a gun at your head, and you have the opportunity to grab a gun, do you grab it, or do you just let them shoot you in the face? Because that's what we're doing. Like that's the situation. They already took out it's so funny. I don't know whether or not you're liberal or Democrat, but it seems like liberals and Democrats. I'm not accusing you of being either, by the way. But liberals and Democrats always, they're like, oh, well, look how bad they are. Yeah, exactly. Punch back. And yet we're like, no, we're going to take the high road. Well, we can't take the high road. They're beating children in the street. They've shot 2 citizens in the street. 3. They've killed 2. There's been 25 shootouts. 3 people have been shot, citizens that I know of. I know by name. How many more? It's like, do desperate times call for desperate measures? Maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard one, man. I went through the same. I feel like I felt the same way you did, where it's like, is it an abandonment of my principles to vote yes on the special election for the amendment, the temporary amendment to our Constitution to allow the redistricting to balance the scales? And I voted yes. And I voted yes ultimately because at least we were asking the people. I have this kind of litmus test, if you will, where I'll say, if it is more democracy, I say yes. In every decision, I want more democracy. The more we put it in the hands of the people, to me, the better. And so they did. And I voted yes to change it. I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust them to give us back that power. I don't trust them to give us back to the 3-3 to the bipartisan commission. But right now, that's a problem. That's a problem 5 years from. No, that's a problem 2 years from now. That's a 2 years from now problem. I got a 6 months from now problem we got to solve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the other thing with that is the reason reason MAGA is a thing is because Democrats and the things that the Democrats do. So it's just like,
well, sort of. I would say, I mean, I say that shit a lot too, man. But like, it clearly most of this shit started with Reagan and George W. Bush, and then what did they do? The real problem with the Democrats is they never fought back. Even Barack Obama, he extended the ICE facilities, built more concentration camps, separated more families, kids in cages, deported all these people. He spied on American citizens, but all of that was because for 8 years George W. Bush did it, and so Barack Obama did it too. So you can't blame Barack.
Exactly.
So I know, but you can't blame Barack Obama for using the. I do blame him, but Barack Obama should have given back that power. But that power was taken. The Department of Homeland Security, the ICE was invented. All of that shit was invented by George W. Bush and his people.
Well,
so
I think they might be like, good cop, bad cop. So, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, they're the same party. They're corporatists. Now, the Democrats, at least historically, up until now, in the last 50 years, have been much more responsive and easier to bully. So to me, if you're going to give anybody power and take it back, if you're going to give anybody power thinking that you might take it back someday, give it to the Democrats, because they usually give it up pretty easily. But Republicans, they won't even leave the White House unless they staged a goddamn coup. The guy who staged a coup is in office, and he's trying to fix the 2028 election, the 2026 election, and the 2028 election. So I feel like now's the time we got to take off our gloves, and even though I hate the Democrats, go along with some of these fucking things, because otherwise, dude, we might not have an election in 2028. That's the other thing. If you vote no, and Virginia doesn't have more delegates for Democrats, well, shit, we might not have an election in 2028. And there's no guarantee that the Democrats are going to win all those, by the way. They're just going to district it in such a way that they probably will. But you know what I mean? There's no guarantee. Democracy is still upon us. They're just have people's voters, they've kind of ideas based on their own statistical. They have this thing, I forget what they call it. When I ran a campaign, you've got all these things about how people answer the door and what they tell you about how they vote, so you kind of know which districts are more red or blue. When you knock on a door when you're canvassing, you know the person on that other side of the door, how they say they voted. It's weird. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. What do you think, man? Do you think that if we do nothing and we allow the Republicans to play all this dirty pool, and we allow MAGA to do these underhanded things, that we will have an election in 2028?
I don't know what to do. It's the thing is, the worse it gets, the closer it gets to revolution, right? So
yeah, I guess that's a good thing. But what do you think? Do you think that in 2026, if we allow MAGA to fix the 2026 election like they did in 2024 with Elon Musk paying people to vote and all that nonsense, if we allow it in 2026 and they keep the House and the Senate, do you think we're even going to be allowed to vote in 2028?
Yeah, I mean, they always talk about voter fraud. I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of voter fraud happened in 2024. So I don't know if it really matters if you do vote,
Mm-hmm.
if they got stuff going behind the scenes that they're pulling the strings on. Um, so
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a rough one. It's a rough one. Which way you leaning?
I mean, Donald Trump said in a rally,
Yeah.
don't worry about having to vote for me. Like,
Yeah, you'll never have to vote again. Just vote this one more time. Yeah.
and I think another time he said, don't worry, I've already won. Don't worry about, I don't need any more votes. I already won. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, when you say something like that out loud, like,
then shouldn't we pull out all the stops to try to stop him legally? And because that's the thing, you said we get closer to revolution. Like, as I would love to see some real action take place, but if we have a full blown revolution, like a couple power outages is the least of our worries. We'll have blood in the streets. People will be shooting each other. I don't want that, and I'm hoping that via legal means we might actually be able to scoop out the cancer of MAGA before we take up arms and do something crazy. I hope that there's a legal way to do it. And this is it. This is it. It's not going to be pretty. It's ugly. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think, which way you leaning on this?
on just my vote. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. You've made some good points. I would like to vote for people who aren't hypocrites. So,
Yeah, me too.
It would be nice if,
well, it's not
to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's not exactly hypocrisy. It's seeing the goal and doing a similar thing by legal means. The Texans broke the law. Missouri and North Carolina didn't. I think the Texans might still be able to gerrymander. I haven't been following that story as much. Because now everybody's doing it.
I mean, it is. You make a good point that they're going through a vote, and we might not like it, but maybe it is the new norm. So
they're taking it to the people. At least there's that. To me, that was the deciding factor. At least they took it to the people. They said, "What do you think?" And it's like that's more of what I want anyway. I want more power to the people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's where I am on that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in Virginia with their amendment. It's going to be crazy.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting it through with me. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for calling. I appreciate you. Buddy pal, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Pick Your Battles. If you'd like to join the show, you can come to morningsky.live/PYB, morningsky.live/PYB. Join the channel. Join the chat. If you're not already a channel member, channel members are our Sky City Rebels. They get exclusive content, exclusive streams, exclusive guitar recitals, exclusive all sorts of stuff. We also give them beneficial treatment in the chat right now. Let me see if I can find a Sky City Rebel. There's one right there. Please, Ben. See right there. I can see him right away. Everyone else is just, they're not green. I can see green. I hit it. I know which one's green. But if you would like to come on the show, you don't have to be a channel member. You can come on the show by going to morningsky.live/PYB. The link's in the chat. If you can't click it, type it in. Click the button and come on the show. You can have one of these awesome things. Hail to Satan. Satin? Oh, it's Satin. Hail to Satin. This person can't spell Satan. Satin. We can choose to identify with whoever we want. Okay, well, that's fun. All right, listen, we're going to go over what the battles are this week. These battles are the same all week. The first one we already did was trans women are women. The second claim is ICE is the American Gestapo, an agency with no judicial oversight requirement, empowered to detain people based on identity, conduct warrantless arrests, and operate outside normal legal constraints. That is not law enforcement. That is a secret police force. The name on the badge doesn't change what the institution does. It's true. The structural parallel is not rhetorical. It's operational. The Gestapo's defining features were extrajudicial detention, identity-based targeting, operating outside normal legal channels, and instilling population-wide fear in a targeted community. ICE checks every box. This is not an insult. It is a description. It's just a description, y'all. Take it easy. There's the quote for that. First, they came for the immigrants, and I did not speak out. After Martin Niemöller, he wrote that, that famous poem. First they came for the immigrants, and I did not speak out. What will you do? Will you speak out? I hope you do speak out. I hope you're out there making the world go round, making people listen. It would be great if you were. Be cooler if you did. It'd be cooler if you did. Hail Satin, Dark Lord of Fabrics. Thank you so much for being here. Veganism, okay, but the big struggle is the struggle of human emancipation. It's all the same. Liberation is liberation. You're either for it or against it. You're either for slavery or you're against slavery. You can't decide, oh, well, it's a crime. Slavery's a crime if it's for black people, but it's not a crime. Like, it's ridiculous. Either you're for slavery or you're against it. Are you for freedom and liberty or you're against those things? What do you stand for? The big struggle is human emancipation? How can you have that such a thing? An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. None of us are free until all of us are free. Don't you see that we're all members of the same human family? That the great experience of humanity is all one? That you don't have an option to split hairs here? Come now. Come now, all ye angels. Number 3, the claim is socialism is good. Socialism is good. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Socialism has been used as a scare word for so long in American politics that most people fear the definition and not the reality. The actual policies socialism describes, public education, Medicare, Social Security, fire departments are the most popular programs in American life. The word is propaganda. The thing itself is just civilization. My goodness, all you idiots who are against socialism really chat my hide when you go use our public schools and our public roads and our post offices and our fire department and the VA and Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, all socialist in structure. Nobody is demanding the abolition of the fire department because it's not run for profit. Socialism isn't alien to American life. It's the parts of American life that work. There's almost no parts left in American life that works. Will you join? Will you join the socialists? Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. Come on the show and let me know how you feel about that. You can tell me socialism is good. Socialism is the dictatorship of the proletariat. Why don't you come on the show and talk about it? Don't be a scaredy cat. Be a wild cat. Come on the show. Be a rebel. Be a rebel. Do we have any rebels in the chat? I don't know if we have any rebels in the chat.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dad.
A rebel. You know, I always see Ari the mermaid. She gets everyone calling her Trump bad. Okay, well, I've got a Trump one too. Trump is a fascist, but we'll get to that. Next one is partisanship is cult behavior. Oh, wait, I forgot the quote. I forgot to give you the quote. The test of our progress is not whether we add to the abundance of those who have much. It's whether we provide enough for those who have too little. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was a president, and even he liked socialism. So weird to hear a president say something like that, isn't it? It is weird to hear a president say something like that. Here we are. The test of our progress is not whether we add the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough to those who have little. Man. All right, the fourth one is partisanship is cult behavior. You're Swedish and you can't call? Of course you could call. You just click a button. Go to morningsky.live/PYB and you're on. You can call from Sweden. I'd love to get the Swedish perspective. Sweden. How do you feel about Tom Green and putting his butt on your sign? Sweden. How could a group of people be a dictatorship? I don't know. How could a group of people collecting funds in order to serve the greater good? Yes, the librarians are dictators, Parallelish. Haven't you heard? Hardcore dictators. That's the thing. You can't speak English? Well, I could speak Swedish. Hurdy burly, gurdy, hurdy, 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 hurdy. Hurdy burly, dirty, hurdy, 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 hurdy. Have you ever seen the Swiss the Swedish chef or no, it's the Swedish chef on the Muppets. Hurdy burly, hurdy, 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 hurdy. Yeah, I could speak Swedish. That's Swedish for have a nice day. Hurdy burdy, hurdy, gurdy, gurdy, hurdy. Obviously from someone else, not own, duh, says Royal Blue. Royal Blue, I don't even know what you're saying. Racism? That's not racism. How is it racism? Making fun of the way a white person speaks their language. That's not racism. I'm allowed to make fun of other white people. Hurdy burly, hurdy, hurdy burly. That's not racism. You want to call racism? Yes, the Swedish, the poor, the poor underclass of America, the Swedes. Yes, they've been so oppressed, haven't they? Those poor Swedes. Racism, yes. I'm UK, no longer trust USA because of Trump. Yeah, no shit, but hey, you should have been able to know that a long time ago. The United States government has never made good on their promises. The United States government signs contracts and then shreds them in front of your face. Ask the American Indians. They killed 90% of them. American government killed 90% of the American Indians and continue to harm them, continue to oppress them, continue to subdue their voices, to subdue their protests. Yeah, I mean, it's nasty business. It's nasty business. Does socialism give even more power to the government? Why don't you call up and ask? Let's do it. Get on the show. Get on the show, Rib Tip. You can go to morningsky.live/PYB. Come on the show and talk to me. We would love to hear how intelligent your voice sounds. We'd love to hear it. Mr. Quackers says, this man is a targ. Listen, I know that Klingons talk about their targs, but listen, a lot of people don't know about Klingons. A lot of people aren't like Klingon nerds like you. A targ is like a dog pig animal that grows on the Klingon home planet of Kronos. So please be careful. Don't just use Star Trek lingo. People don't know what you're talking about. Be careful. Yes, I live in both of it, and I choose better the socialism. I live in both of it, and if I must choose better the social, every good thing you've ever had from the government, like the interstate highways, anything that's good, shit, our military, it's all socialism. All the good shit. All the bad shit where, children are working in factories and all that, that's capitalism. Capitalism is like, the profit motive will do us good. Socialism's like, hey, why don't we collect our money and build some roads? Like, you've got to be deaf, dumb, and blind if you think socialism's the enemy. You are a sucker. You've been fed a line of propaganda and you believed it. You're a sucker. Hurdy-gurdy birdie. Yeah, you got me, Kathy Skywalker. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Kathy Skywalker. For sure you do. For sure you do. The next one is cult. This is the fourth one. Partisanship is a cult-like behavior. Partisanship is cult behavior. When your political identity determines what facts you accept, who you trust, what you're willing to excuse, and who you're willing to hurt, that's not politics anymore. That is the psychology of a cult. The flag and the elephant or donkey are just different totems. Are you someone who prays to a totem, like some kind of weird primitive culture? Are you a weirdo that prays to an elephant And a man who slathers makeup on himself and thinks he's the golden god because he puts in his Oval Office everything is made of gold because he hired Saddam Hussein's interior decorator? Is that who you are? Cult psychology is defined by in-group loyalty overriding evidence. This is true. The hallmarks: an infallible leader or ideology, hostility toward outside information, punishment of dissent, suspension of critical thinking in defense of the group. Both parties produce this in segments of their base. The MAGA movement has perfected it, but tribalism is a bipartisan pathology. The mechanism is the same, even when the content differs. Are you a member of a cult? Because I think that Republicans and Democrats are both not good. Not good. I think Republican and Democrat, they require a level of fealty that turns your brain off, and you should stop doing it. Stop doing it. Every road will have trolls, private for-profit companies. Yeah. Every stream will have trolls. Every road will have tolls, private for-profit companies. Yeah. Well, that's what it'll be. You'll have to pay tolls all the way across America. They've been trying to break that up for a long time. Just like they're doing right now in our airports. You can get clear if you pay a lot of money. You don't have to wait in those long lines. Just pay lots of money every month. Pay a subscription service to the government or to a private corporation that pays the government politicians. Socialist systems generally concentrate economic political power within government or state, which typically owns or controls the means of production, resources, and key industry. In the state, should the state own those things, the means of production? Should the state own those means of production, and then we can then unelect those leaders who are like, let's say the phone company, or let's say the electric company. If the electric company doesn't do its job properly, can we vote out their CEO? Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. How about the internet service providers? Can I vote Jeff Bezos out? No, only the oligarchs get to vote for him because his board members are all oligarchs. So only rich people can vote out the people who are in charge of the means production, not the regular people. See, I think socialism might be a good idea. Why don't you come on and tell me all about it? Tell me all about it. Bring it on, cowards. Satan isn't sentient. No, I like sentient. Abolish PG&E, Prime Zero. Hell yes, abolish PG&E. PG&E should be abolished. It should have been national. It should made public. Should have been California-sized. It should be owned by the state. PG&E has killed 100 people now. How many people have they killed? The worst, deadliest fire in California history was caused by PG&E. Did anybody go to jail for it? No one went to jail for it. They just gave Gavin Newsom some money and he gave him a little slap on the wrist and then it was all over. It's funny, they don't face any consequences. Now imagine PG&E was owned by the people instead of being a state-funded monopoly. Do you think that the people would keep their jobs and someone might have gone to jail? I think we would have put people in jail. I think we'd put a lot of motherfuckers in jail if they did that. They intentionally killed people. PG&E, man, PG&E is evil company. You're absolutely right, Prime Zero. Well said. Stalin is your idol? That's a weird thing to say. But hey, there's always somebody who loves authoritarianism. There's always someone. I got to talk to Ryan Sanchez a few months back, and he thinks that we should stop having elections. Why are we even having them? We got to have an existential crisis every 4 years. I think it's great. I think we should have a bigger existential crisis every 4 years. But, what are you going to do? Anyway, partisanship is cult behavior. And everybody already knows. But are you in a cult? The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge, is itself a frightful despotism. George Washington, in his farewell address in 1796, said, "Parties are stupid." George Washington hated political parties. He said they would destroy America, and he was right. George Washington, he was right about that. He was wrong about the slave shit. He was wrong about the slavery stuff, but he was right about this. The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge, is itself a frightful despotism. Indeed, that's true. That's true. George Washington, he knew what he was saying. He had some ideas. Indeed. What do you think? Do you like that George Washington quote? The last one is Trump is a fascist. Trump is a fascist. Fascism is not a feeling. Facts don't care about your feelings, baby doll. It's not an insult. Although I would be insulted if you called me a fascist. But I guess people don't care anymore if you call them a fascist. They think it's cool. It is a defined political ideology with identifiable features. Donald Trump's movement meets the criteria developed by political scientists, historians, and the scholars who studied fascism as it rose in the 20th century. This is not hyperbole. It is classification. Umberto Eco's 14 features of Ur-fascism, Robert Paxton's fascism framework, Jason Stanley's analysis all describe cult of the leader, appeals to national humiliation, contempt for democratic institutions, enemy scapegoating, glorification of violence, and the merger of parties with state. Trump's movement demonstrates all of these, not as a metaphor, but as documented behavior and stated policy. There you go. Donald Trump is a fascist. Donald Trump is such a fascist that here's a Mussolini quote. Benito Mussolini, the guy who named fascism. Fascism should more properly be called corporatism, since it is the merger of state and corporate power. Benito Mussolini. What do you think about that one? What do you think about that one? What do you think about it? You like it? You guys like Benito Mussolini? The only idol you know is Billy Idol? I love it. That's rad. You think MAGA? Yeah, Gamer of Earth, you nailed it. MAGA is a fascist movement. That's the fifth option. You could pick your battles. If you're just tuning in, my name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and boy, are my arms tired. Yo, this is the Pick Your Battle show. It's a new show. We've only been doing it about a week. You could pick from a menu of items. You can go to morningsky.live/PYB, and you can join the stream. You don't have to turn on the camera. You'll be hidden. And you can have a conversation with me. You can also BYOB. We have a menu. But don't worry, we can also BYOB. It's okay. You can bring your own battle. Someone's already done that today. You can bring up another one. Name one country where socialism worked. The United States of America. Socialism works great here. It's worked great so far. Come on the show and tell me why you think it doesn't work. Socialism works A-OK. Thank you, Navia, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate you. Soviet Union failed. Why did Soviet Union fail? Paul Moreno. Why did Soviet Union fail? Why did Soviet Union fail? I can't think of why. I can't think. Why did Soviet Union fail? Oh gosh, darn it. Could it be that somebody killed their leader and then took over, and then they had all sorts of turmoil? That they had a revolution in order to start the Bolsheviks, and then just a few years after the revolution, they killed their leader. And then after World War II, they had something like 20 million people missing because the war had decimated their crops and decimated their people. Could it be that they were on their knees after World War II and America, the superpower, rather than befriending them, demonized them and kicked them while they were down, forcing them into an arms race, eventually a space race and a nuclear race, and bankrupted them by forcing all of America's friends to not do business with them, except oil? And then, could that be why? Why do you think the Soviet Union failed? Gee whiz, I don't know. So strange. I don't know how that worked. Thank you so much for being here. Wow, you caught a live version. Yes, you could go to morningsky.live/PYB and be on the show. Be on the show. If I can be vegan, what's your excuse? Come on the show where the corporations own the government. That's right. Fascism is where corporate goals and government goals become so closely aligned that they're indiscernible. And then you have fascism because you are left out in the cold. The government no longer works for you and the corporations no longer serve you. So what do you get? Fascism. Ain't that a peach? Ain't that old chestnut? That old chestnut. Why don't you come on the show? I know it's easier. I know it's easier to beat up on little girls on the internet, but you could come on the show and talk with me. I have a fancy education. You could show this Berkeley man where he's gone wrong. Come on the show and let me know what you think about the 5 things. Trump is a fascist. Partisanship is cult-like behavior. Is cult behavior. Socialism is good. ICE is the American Gestapo. Trans women are women. Do you think trans women aren't women? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Call in. Let me know what you think. Fight me, bro. Or let's just have a dialectic. I like to call this a dialectic show more than a debate show. A dialectic show more than... You would love to talk to me? Come on the show, Sandra Lunde. Come on the show. Go to morningsky.live/PYB. It's like Pretty Young Thing, except with a B. Pick your battle. Pick your battles. morningsky.live/PYB. Come on the show and let me know how you feel about these things right here, these claims. Go ahead and do that. The link is also in the chat. You can go ahead and do that. Trans women are what? Just come on and pick from the menu. The bonus topic. A lot of you guys have the bonus. The bonus topic. If you don't know what you want to talk about, you could talk about the bonus topic. The only way to take coffee is black. Every additive you put in coffee is an apology for the coffee. And coffee doesn't need an apology! If the roast is good and the brew is right, there's nothing to apologize for. Milk, sugar, syrups, and foamed oat beverages are infrastructure for people who want the social ritual of coffee without the commitment. Black coffee is coffee. Everything else is a dessert that needs caffeine. That's right. You don't like coffee, you like dessert. I don't need a dessert with caffeine. That's what Coca-Cola's for. You keep on wanting to have a ritual of coffee, but you haven't earned it. You haven't grown up. You haven't matured your taste buds and learned the joy of coffee. You Peter Pan motherfuckers. You children, you little Americans who never want to grow up. What is it with America? You never want to grow up. David Bork, come on the show. I've already talked about fascism. We could talk about fascism again. Come on the show, David Bork. Come on the show and you can talk to me about why fascism isn't Donald Trump. Come on the show. You know what? People said they wanted it. Come on the show. We could talk all about it. Join the show. David Bork. It has natural sugar. Well, I mean, there's like the caramelization on the outside of the bean. So yeah, it's a little bit. There's a little sweetness. So it's so good. It's like chocolatey and like it's fucking good. Coffee is so good. Sugar and coffee makes it taste like shit. Creamer makes it taste like water. Creamer makes it taste like someone killed a baby cow and raped the mom. It's same. You know what milk and creamer makes coffee taste like? It tastes like someone raped a cow. The cow had a baby. We slit the baby's throat, and then we stole the milk intended for the baby, and then we put it through an industrial process, and then we put it in a little package, and then someone put it out, and then and we poured it in our coffee. That's what it tastes like. Murder and rape and violence. That's what. Well, I guess murder and rape are violence, but you know what I mean. It tastes like slavery. Milk and creamer make your coffee taste like slavery. Grow up and drink coffee like a grown up. trans women are women and black coffee is superior. It's true. It's true. It is. It's true. Yeah. Coffee is carcinogenic. Whatever. Yeah. Coffee's going to cause me cancer. Yeah. No evidence of that whatsoever. No evidence of that whatsoever. What about Elon Musk? You like him? Do you like him? Elon Musk has spent a lot of time and money trying to look like me. That guy's gone through hell trying to look like me. That piece of shit. He got himself a penis implant. Like, my penis is naturally the size that it is. Extra large. And, Elon Musk had to have himself a penis implant. I heard it's botched. I heard that's why he makes women sign an NDA when he sleeps with them. I heard that's what he's got to pump it up like a Reebok sneaker. He's like, psh, 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 psh. And when he's done, he's got to release it in the back. He also got hair plugs. I mean, I like my hairline. People make fun of me because I have a grown-up's hairline. But Elon Musk, he got hair plugs to look more like me. And he got teeth. I never had a cavity. And he got a jaw put in. I had this jaw. I was born like this. But Elon Musk, the richest man who ever lived, had to spend a lot of money to look like me. Nomad says MAGA is a carcinogen. MAGA is the cancer that ate the Republican Party. It's just that... it's like your friends. It's like the Democrats and Republicans are both bad, but the Republican is like your friend who like smokes and drinks Diet Coke all day, and you're like, that motherfucker has cancer? No shit. The Republicans, they were bound to get cancer first, right? And MAGA's the cancer that ate their Republican Party. There are no Republicans left. There are only fascists. It's the worst thing ever. It's the worst case scenario, folks. We're on the way down. Sorry. Don't know how to phone you. What do you mean? Go right there. You admire my intelligence and humor. Well, thank you, Sandra. Go to type in your computer or your phone on any laptop or any device, Sandra. Type in morning sky dot, that's the period, dot live, or full stop if you're English. I don't know where you're from. Full stop live / or if you're English, it's a stroke, PYB. morningsky.live/PYB. It's in the chat. It's linked. It's pinned. Is it not pinned? There, Navia has it. Navia. There you go. Click on that shit. Navia's got you covered. Copy and paste that shit. morningsky.live/PYB, and you could talk to yours truly. You got it. Stan Laurel. Oh, David Bork. I love you. I love Stan Laurel. Oh, Stanley, you did it again. I love that shit. I love that. You look like Stan Laurel. I like that. Yeah. Did you ever have a pair on pump? Yes, I did, Johnny Vegan. See, when I was a kid, I wanted those the original pumps with the basketball and the release in the back. I wanted that shit so bad. And so I begged my parents. For a pair of the pump shoes, Reebok pumps. I begged. But my parents were hard asses, man. They raised me like a fucking Victorian. They're both Midwesterners, They were so conservative. Not conservative like politically. I shouldn't say conservative because what does that mean today? But just very like I went to Catholic school and stuff, They were like Victorian conservative. And I begged because I had to wear a uniform to school, And the only thing that you can express yourself when I was in school was your shoes. So I begged my parents, please, can I have a pair of Reebok pumps? And they said, nope. And my parents went to Vegas because my dad worked in Vegas a lot. I worked in Vegas a lot too. But when I was little, they went to Vegas. And for some reason, I didn't go. I can't remember why I didn't go. I had something going on. And I stayed at my grandma's house or something. And they went and they came back. And I was like, did you go to the Reebok outlet store on the way to Vegas in Barstow? I'm like, yeah, we got you a pair of shoes. I was like, please, did you get me a pair of pumps? And my parents like, no, just like regular shoes. We told you we're not going to buy you pumps. They're too expensive. We're not going to buy you the pumps. I said, but they're cheaper at the outlet store. Because back then there weren't outlet stores everywhere, Please, I just wanted pumps. I was so upset. And then I opened the box and they were pumps. And I wore those fucking shoes until the basketballs fell off, until everything. I wore those shoes until they stank like a corpse and were falling off around my feet. I wore those shoes until there was nothing left. Because I knew my parents weren't going to buy me another one. So, anyway, pretty cool. Damn, Jack got those tickets. Yeah, I got those tickets. Here, and only 23 likes. I know, but on Honest Doubter, I'm just going to ask people to try to join my shit, and now they won't join. People won't call up and talk to me. You are the ones that light up. Oh, that's pretty cool, Navi. I never had that. I never had anything that light up. Spoiled. Yeah, spoiled. Yeah. I don't think. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I wish I was spoiled. No, I was like that type of kid that was working at 13 and shit. My dad made me get a job at 13. Yeah, the Laurel and Hardy commercial. You ever seen the show or movie that the short they made called Music Box? Is fantastic. Oh, to the gun show, baby. Yeah, I got the gun show. I got the tickets to the gun show for sure. Got the guns out today. Sun's out, guns out. Paul Raquel. Yeah, I can't call in today, but unfortunately, but tomorrow. That's okay. That's a good dad. Is that a good dad? I don't know. I don't know about that. So I hope that you join me. We have 5 topics of conversation, and we have a bonus. The only way to take coffee is black. Are you one of those wimps that take sugar and mammary glands secretions in your coffee? What the hell? Why? Why don't you like coffee? Just drink coffee. Just grow up and drink coffee. It's black. There should be no follow-up question. I went to drink coffee yesterday. I got some iced coffee. I went to go get some iced coffee because I went to the bookstore. I was reading my book for my book club. I'm reading The Lake Effect. The Lake Effect. Anyway, I'm reading this book, and I said, look, I got my coffee. I need it. And she said, do you want any sweeteners? And I looked at her for a long time. Big pause. And I grabbed her by her collar, and I said, how dare you? There's no follow-up questions. There's no follow-up questions. If I say coffee, it's coffee. There's no follow-up questions. I drink beer, too. Of course I drink beer. What kind of man do you think I am? Of course I drink beer. What do you mean? Although yesterday, you know what I did? I normally will drink Stone IPA, but yesterday I went to Trader Joe's. They got that Boatswain IPA. $5.99, man. $5.99 for a 6-pack of Boatswain IPA? Hell yeah, boy. I'll drink it. It's a deal. Reading Cormac McCarthy. I've read a lot of Cormac McCarthy. I've read Child of God. I've read The Road. I read Blood Meridian. I read... Shit, there's another one. No Country for Old Men. I've read a lot of Cormac McCarthy over the years. Over the years. When I was in college, I really liked what he wrote, for sure. Yeah. You don't need to be taught. Just click on the thing. Just click on it. There should be a button right there. Navia can help you. Or Benford Berlin can help you. This August, 10 years sober. Well, good luck on your sobriety. I thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being sober. Sutri! I've read Sutri and Blood Meridian are the best fiction books I've read. He's pretty good. Cormac McCarthy. I've read Sutri. I read that probably in 2009 or something. I mean, it was a long time ago. I just finished this book. It's called You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. I just read this. It's kind of intense. It's very intense. A tenderly beating, bloody heart of a novel. It's in the horror section. And I guess it is horror. It's like body horror. It's scary. You should if you like weird, crazy stuff, this book, I was surprised at how good it was. I'm reading The Lake Effect by Cynthia Deprex. I forget her name. I'm about halfway done. And then after that, I'm reading this one. It's called Moonflow by Bitter Corella. It's another horror novel. I hope it's good. I've been reading trans authors. This is a trans man and this is a trans woman. I thought it'd be interesting. I've never read a book by a trans author, and now I have. This is by a trans author. His name is Andrew Joseph White, and this is by a trans author. Her name is Bitter Corella. Or maybe it's Correa, but I think it's Corella with a K. There's no K in the Spanish alphabet, so I think it's Corella. They don't have a K in the Spanish alphabet except for foreign words like kilometro, but the Spanish, they don't like the letter K. Read to us, maybe one of these days we should, read a section. I should read a section of which one? This one? Here, I'll read the beginning of You Weren't Meant to Be Human. Are you ready? Crane doesn't know this yet, but he's been pregnant for almost 3 months already. Crane didn't say yes to this, though maybe that isn't the best choice of words. Crane doesn't say anything if he can help it, and he wouldn't have written it out either, scrawled proof of consent like an exploited porn actor under duress. I agree to this, I swear. He stopped speaking for a reason. Writing it down defeats the point. But Levi is still putting him over the manager's desk, a hand to the back, trapping him between a broken printer and the security camera monitor, and his jeans are down to his thighs, and there are bruises under his jaw, and he can't bring himself to care about if he agreed or not. Behind him, Levi mumbles, "Stay down." Is Levi still smoking back there? He doesn't think so, but it smells like it. God, that'd be hot if he was. Use the dips between the vertebrae as an ashtray. Fuck up the cheap tattoo there with a scar. It looks so good. Levi's body heat warms the bare backs of Crane's thighs. Crane whines. It's pathetic. There are sticky notes pasted around the security camera monitor, little things for him to focus on while Levi unbuckles his belt, the telltale jingle of metal on metal, the low rasp of the zipper. Last feeding June 2nd, order cigs. Y'all stop dying or we won't have no one to work the day shift. That last one's a joke, or Crane thinks it is. The gas stations never kept regular hours. Then there's the camera feeds, the front lot with the gravel and pumps, the dark smudge of the road almost visible after nightfall, but not quite, the sales floor with the register and self-service coffee machines currently unattended, the manager's office camera looking down at their backs, the locked rooms with the hive of worms and flies. Levi grabs Crane hips and pushes inside him. No condom, no lube, no foreplay to get him wet. Besides, the hand around his throat 30 seconds ago. It hurts. Crane lurches forward, gasps, nearly knocks the monitor off the desk. Levi steadies it. His thumb is in on the screen by the hive, covering where blood's gummed up the tile grout. Easy, Levi says with that throaty rasp guys get when they're finally inside halfway decent pussy. God, you feel good. He's right. It feels good. It stings, burns the way it does when you're unprepared as hell, but that's half the point. And Crane watches himself get fucked raw on the security camera monitor because he can't get off unless he feels sick to his stomach about the whole thing. That's how it's gone for as long as they've been together. Levi's shoving him against the wall, pushing fingers between his teeth, and Crane taking it whether he wants to or not, because it's not as good if he gets a choice. Levi smells like Marlboro Reds and the gun cleaner he uses on his Mossberg 12 gauge. When he fucks, his dog tags clink together. Crane gets the idea that Levi likes the sound of it, and that's okay. He does too. Fine. He'll spread his legs as much as he can, hobbled by the jeans, whimper like a bitch in heat, reach down to get himself off. He can be a man while there's none other man's cock in his pussy, if that's what he wants to call himself. Sure, something moves on the security camera, and it's not them. There you go. You wanted me to read a section? That's the book that I read last month. I hope you like it. It's a fun book. Was up to a fifth at night and 224. Oh, a fifth a night, a fifth of bourbon a night. Damn, that's a lot. Not your kind of book. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's a thing. I don't read my kind's book. I read things that are different, things that I'm not used to, things that I don't know about. And what's crazy is that it really is, the whole book's more about how the working class is exploited by corporate interests, how the working class is enslaved by promises of belonging when they don't have any option. I've read through Humankind, A Hopeful History 4 times, and it's a phenomenal trip through history with citations proving how our species is truly versus the propaganda. That's on my list. I'm almost there. I'm thinking we're going to have, that'll be my first nonfiction book of the book club. Yeah. I hope you like it. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, have kids here. Well, that's your problem, man. I don't know. It's not my fault you got kids. You asked me to read a book of horror. This is a horror book. Terribly sorry. You could call in. Tell me why kids shouldn't hear bad words. Why should we keep kids from hearing about the horrors of our reality? Why do we protect kids from reality? Why? Just call in. Yes, that's right. Navia has it. morningsky.live/PYB. It seems easier. Life is better with alcohol. Maybe you're right. Richard Burton said he can't trust a man who doesn't drink. And Frank Sinatra said he feels sorry for people who don't drink because that's the best they're going to feel all day. Look, I think you should take lots of breaks from alcohol. Don't overdo it. I take lots of stuff out. Just the sex stuff. Why? Sigmund Freud says the internal lives of children are more sexual than adults. I don't know if I agree with him, but that's what Sigmund Freud said. Do you think that we should shield them from stuff like that? We always say that we should shield them for that, but as soon as you get a kid, they're like, oh, you're a little heartbreaker. You're going to have lots of girlfriends. Oh, you better keep her away from the boys. It's creepy. I don't know why they do that. They always do that. It's weird. Drink responsibly, exactly. But a lot of people can't drink responsibly. I get it. I've had times in my life where I drank too much, you know. When I first moved to Vegas, I drank way too much. But I was going through a divorce, and I was alone in a city. I was in Vegas. Man, I drank a lot. I was drinking for free most of the time. Now I drink a lot less because I don't drink for free. But I was in the industry, man. I drank for free everywhere I went. I got invited on trips. I went to Tequila. I went to Scotland. I went to Tequila, Mexico. I got, good times. I was able to, but since the pandemic, I drink responsibly. That's good. Drink responsibly, man. Drink responsibly. You had blackouts. Yeah, you could get those blackouts. You got to be careful. Yeah. Making comments like that to a child is creepy. It totally is. Why do people do that? It's disgusting. Every time you see a little girl, there's some asshole going like, oh, you're going to be, I could see you. It's so gross. I used to have this guy. He was like, he wasn't my boss, but he was like a guy who was higher up in the corporate ladder than me at this company. And he brought his little girl and his family, and he had a little girl, and she was super shy, like painfully shy, like would not say a word. And she was like, I want to say 9 or something, like old enough. Like, does this kid have autism? Like, what the fuck? There's something wrong with your kid, bro. And he's like, I love that she doesn't talk to anybody. I love it. I'm going, okay. Why? He goes, then she won't talk to boys. She's shy. She won't talk to boys. And I'm like, okay, dude, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say about your daughter, dude. What the hell? Yeah, divorce can make you drink a lot for sure, bro. Mark Page knows what I'm talking about. Well, also, like, just being in a city where you don't know anybody. Like, when I first moved to London, I drank a lot. I went out at night. I wanted to meet people. I drank. I don't know. It's something to do. It's hard. It's hard when you're by yourself, If you have people with you, then it's easier not to drink. But then sometimes people, if you have a bunch of drinkers, and the drinking just becomes the thing that you do, especially if you're in the industry. But yeah. People kind is mostly drunk idiots flying Spirit Air. I used to think drinking was bad for me, so I gave up thinking. I just drink far less than I used to, and I drink lower alcohol stuff. Like, I don't know, it's a different. I'm in a different world, you know. I'm not working in the industry until that was the other thing. If you're getting when I first moved to Las Vegas, I was working from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. and managing all the bars. What do you think I did at 4 a.m.? What is there to do? Even in Las Vegas, there's not much to do at 4 a.m. except drink. That's it. There's just not much you can do. A puff and a shot. Puff, not a shot. Some people like that, but that was illegal up until recently. And when you're in Vegas, at least when I lived in Vegas, if you were caught, like let's say you got injured at work and they blood tested you and you had any trace of marijuana in your system, you'd lose your job and they wouldn't pay for you getting hurt on the job. So I didn't touch any. I just did not touch any marijuana for a long time. It just wasn't. It's like you have to. If you're not in a position where you could smoke and you can drink, you drink. You'd be protected without the possession. Yeah, I don't know why being protective of kids is so important. I don't think being protective is so great. I think kids should be independent. I don't know. When I was a kid, I went around. My parents just let me do my thing. I don't know. I was a latchkey kid, bro. I did my own. I just went out on adventures, got in fights, rode my bike everywhere. Maybe it's different for girls, but man, I was taught like, go have fun, get the fuck out of the house. Jesus, get the fuck out. I don't know why people are so protective of their children. Get out, go explore. My parents used to tell me to go play on the freeway. You're annoying me. Get out of here. Get out of here. You like the shirt? Thank you. You saw what's on the shirt? I'm wearing. Oh, finally we have Farrell Wittgenstein. Farrell Wittgenstein is here. Farrell Wittgenstein, how you doing?
Doing well, my friend. It turns out I could call after all. How are you?
Fabulous, fantastic, fun and fancy free. Do you have something on the menu, or would you like to bring your own battle?
I do have something on the menu because my last topic about is the description the described was a bit too amorphous, and I think we were just we were thinking it out together, which is fine.
I like that.
Yeah, but so I did choose one of yours. So number 4, partisanship is cult behavior.
I think so. How do you feel about it? What's your immediate reaction? What do you think? Do you think partisanship is cult behavior?
Well, it's actually I'm coming at you with a fallacy right off the bat.
Let's do it.
I'm doing a tu quo que fallacy on you.
I love tu quo ques.
Yes, which is to say, would you say that you imbibe largely or majoritively left or progressive leaning news sources?
Negative. Absolutely not.
Or even independent?
No.
What do you do? What's your docket? What do you do?
Every day I watch Fox News. I watch Fox News Today. I watch Fox News every day. I read the AP every day. I read the Orange County Register, which is very, very Republican conservative. It's more traditional Republican conservative. I do like some of like the opinion stuff on MS Now, so that's lefty. Fairly, that's more liberal than lefty. Every once in a while, I'll look at CNN, but like on my docket, it's usually. I also, by the way, make a point to go after local news sources, and not local from my neighborhood, but local from around the world, around America. Like, I love looking at what someone is saying. Like today, I watched Kentucky news because I want to see what they're saying about shit that's going on. And
right. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, and that's. I mean, it kind of makes me pivot because. I was going to say, typically folks imbibe only their preferred, they become partisan indirectly by only imbibing, their team's info, right?
Totally. I mean, I still do I have a soft spot in my heart for Democracy Now! And like progressive rate. I like KPBS, which isn't progressive, it's just public radio. So I do listen to that stuff. So I don't want to be like, but I do a news show 4 days a week. So I'm like intentionally.
Okay, let me pivot.
Yeah.
So you're not focusing only on left-leaning media.
Definitely not.
So let me actually come at you with the critique then that we can actually talk about.
Okay.
So my stance, I will say that all media, all mainstream media, left, right, center, especially from the Associated Press, is gossip and propaganda. And it's developed that way. I don't know if you've read Noam Chomsky's The Manufacturing of Consent.
I have.
So in it, he goes over the propaganda model of media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in it, he explains that media is top down. So all what stories are selected is top down. How the stories are written about is top down. The headline is written by usually not by the author of the story, right?
Yeah, it's by the editor. Yeah.
Yes. So my stance is that all media, all that stuff that you cram your head with every morning, is useless gossip that is keeping your cortisol levels very high.
Interesting. I think, I don't know, have you ever seen my morning show? Because my morning show, The Morning Sky, is about, ostensibly, like I try to bring humor about it and make fun of people like Senator John Kennedy and stuff, but
Sure.
it's supposed to, it's supposed to be about media literacy and civics and always calling out propaganda. That's how the show kind of started, was to do exactly, to like watch mainstream media and look at why. I don't know about the word gossip. It's a little much, because I think gossip is kind of, there is a lot of gossip. I'm looking at the front page of the Associated Press right now.
Yeah.
And the Associated, here, I've got it. I'll bring it on the screen. The Associated Press is, right now, Trump says Iran wants to make a deal and claims envoys are holding talks with an Iranian leader. They've got the thing about the 2 pilots killed when the jet collides with LaGuardia.
Okay, but when I see this, when I'm looking at what you're looking at right now, and by the way, I don't watch any media whatsoever. I avoid it like the plague. I don't watch any current events for my part. But when I see these stories coming in from my outsider perspective, perhaps, all I see is greasing the rails slowly for war. Right?
Yes, absolutely right.
So you put in a casualty here. Like, I even remember, I'm so old that I remember when the Afghan war kicked off.
Yeah.
And it was kicked off by a CIA operative being killed at some random base in the middle of nowhere. And the news made this huge thing about it. The first, CIA guy killed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then up to that, of course, they had the weapons of mass destruction, the weapons inspectors, just all this slow boiling of the frog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I see when I see that, 2 pilots killed, or Trump says this about Iran, or Iran says this about Trump. It's a slow, they're putting fire under that water to boil that frog.
Yeah, but that's not to say those things aren't happening. Like, I agree with the presentation of it is told through this lens that is, well, I mean, it doesn't take much. Like, the corporations own the government's making the news,
Yes.
The corporations report the news. It's the same. It used to be, I just looked it up. It was 90, because on my show tonight at 5 p.m., I'm doing a show in Houston on the radio, and it's going to be about freedom of speech, because they canceled my show because of the chilling of Brendan Carr threatening to take the FCC license away from my radio station. So they're canceling my show, and so my last one is today. They're not canceling. It's going to be on HD2, which is basically, it's just digital radio. I don't know. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a sad thing. Anyway, but the 98 companies used to own, just like in 1985, 98 companies ran the media. Today, five run the media.
And in 85 is around the time Chomsky wrote that whole theory of the propaganda model of media. So if it was that bad then, where he's saying it's top-down controlled and it's propaganda, how much astronomically worse is it today, where 5 companies with 5 dudes that you could blackmail or drop a bag of money on their desk? It's so much easier today.
Not only that, the board members of those companies are the same board members as Cargill and Tyson, and it's this, or McDonald's. These are the same companies owned by the same people who own our media, and they're also the same people who are serving in Congress and and the Senate and on the cabinet. So yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of Noam Chomsky until this whole Epstein Island thing came out, but
yeah, I was a big fan before he went. He said that all unvaccinated people should be put on an island with no food. I was not a big fan of that.
There's a lot going on. Well, I mean, I stopped being a fan when he, like the stuff he says about animals, and he's got lots of blind spots. But there's not to say that his book, and he wrote that book, Propaganda, and I forget. I read two Chomsky books. The one was Propaganda and Something Mind, and one was The Manufacturing of Consent. And they both had co-authors, right? He had co-authors.
Yeah, there was a co-author. Yeah.
But that idea of like the liberal media, like the liberal media is so funny because the bias is you are reporting things that aren't quite right. And so it seems liberal because it's constantly giving you a question of the status quo. But the real purpose is to say, this is as far as that questioning goes. This is as far as you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And that always that still gives me chills down my spine because I think that's the biggest problem with liberalism. It's like, we're not going to talk about anarchism. We're not going to talk about direct democracy because this is as far as you go.
Right. That's and what this is something people don't consider is what out of the infinitude of possible stories out there, the ones that are selected, you should be very skeptical about why that story was selected. Why that one?
Well, we know because they sell. If it bleeds, it leads, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but they sell sometimes, and then sometimes they help a little narrative that needs to be pushed into the public mind. I mean, there's
part
all
of the
kinds
agenda.
Of reasons. I mean, my grandfather was a World War II photographer in the China, Burma, India theater, and he talked about Associated Press guys that would write these extravagant stories that none of the other about the China, Burma, India theater. And none of the other correspondents who were in theater, who were in the actual place, knew who these people were, but they were writing as if they were in the field, right? So I do think these stories are dropped in when there are certain narrative points that need to be put over onto the public mind. But and liberal media, I think people get confused by that because it has liberal in it. I think you just call it what it is. It's oligarchical media. It's corporate media. It's top-down media. It's, as you said, media that is easily influenceable by the state, by propagandists, by a million things, right?
Yeah.
So I don't. Thomas Jefferson said, "The man who never looks into the newspaper is better informed than he that reads them, inasmuch as he that knows nothing is nearer to truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors." So that's how I live.
Except, but then how do you stay abreast of? See, I think you might be doing yourself a disservice. Allow me a tu quoque, if you will. Then, you're doing yourself a disservice because you end up not being aware of the zeitgeist. And I know that, there are certain things that you have no business knowing that we just end up knowing. Like, I don't know, Ariana.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but before you go on about the zeitgeist. It's not that I don't have an idea of the zeitgeist. It's that I don't have an idea about the corporate news story about the zeitgeist.
Well, how do you know what is in the public sphere, I don't know what the public is thinking about if you don't.
So you're saying the zeitgeist has been a creation of corporate media.
In a large part, yes, of course.
So good. So they can talk all they want about their little gossip stories. I have no interest.
But then doesn't that mean that you don't have interest in humanity? Like, this is you're part of it.
The opposite of that. I have so much interest in humanity that my mind isn't 1,000 miles away in some far-flung desert that I heard about, and I have a fanciful idea about what's going on over there through the news. So I can then focus on the teller I'm talking to, my grandma. I can focus on the actual human beings I interact with.
That's important. I like that sentiment quite a bit. I mean, peace, love, and understanding, and all of that. I love the idea of slow, fighting the dromosphere. Indeed. But at the same time, forget about wars in the Middle East. What about just basic stuff like Ariana Grande is in a show about wizards.
Oh boy, is that your best example of
No, I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find something innocuous and stupid like Ariana Grande's in a Wizard of Oz reboot.
I think you'll find that much of that info, and your example is perfect. I couldn't come up with a better one myself, of how vapid, tinselly, nonsensical, useless most of this quote unquote informed information is.
I'm not saying it's informed. My argument would be
one feels they're informed if they read it.
I feel like I am participating. I don't feel informed. I feel like, yes, this is stupid. I can acknowledge that it's stupid. I wish that everyone else would acknowledge the absurdity of all of this bullshit, like Ariana Grande starring as the Good Witch in a Wizard of Oz reboot. Yeah. But at the same time, if people are out there talking about a Wizard of Oz reboot and everyone's talking about Ariana Grande being in it or Cynthia What's-Her-Face having a codependency issue with her, I want to know about it because human beings fascinate me. I almost feel like I'm part of an anthropologist study or something like that.
But you're only interested in human beings that are basically brainwashed by the corporate zeitgeist,
which is most of them.
Fine, but like how much more interesting and helpful to that human being if you break through that zeitgeist, that corporate media created zeitgeist, and you get them down into here and now. You get them down into philosophy. You get them down into, hey, by the way, are you your ego? Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm attempting to do. I'm attempting to do that by pointing that out and trying to preach, media literacy so that they can see how absurd this all is. I think the people that are attracted to this channel are exactly those people that are like, what the fuck is going on? I've lost connection with people. I've lost community. I'm orphaned politically. I have, the churches have let us down. The mainstream media has let us down. Everyone has let us down. Yeah. And I still think that pop culture and all of these other things, though, is these touchstones. It's almost like, in the 70s, if people watched the Mission Impossible TV show, and then the next day went to work, they'd all have some shit to talk about, and they would have some kind of form of community, and they could talk about other stuff because of it.
Artificial corporate plastic thing to talk about that we all agree on.
You say artificial, and that corporate plastic.
But we agreed the zeitgeist is corporate made.
It is corporate made. And I wish that it was different. It's not entirely corporate made because people do respond. These corporations are still taking shots in the dark half the time with what we're gonna like, except for like Disney. They seem to, but even Disney, they keep on they shit out lemons all the time that people just don't respond to. Right?
Yeah.
These corporations don't have it all dialed in. They fuck up constantly.
No, I agree. But
so
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So you're still playing. So like the human is still playing a role, and I like to be part of the humans. I've always felt a little bit like a Gallifreyan or something, where I'm not quite.
$2 word. I owe you.
I'm not.
What does that word mean? I don't know what that means.
It's a Gallifreyan. It's like old. It's an old thing from Doctor Who. Never mind another. But hey, BBC's not corporate, right? BBC is. State owned, yeah.
Yeah, so much better. They cut the BS and get right to the point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, what is media? Media is for millions of years we had a small simian group in the middle of a forest somewhere or in a plain, and someone hit a rock or someone told a story, and that was the media, right? Or they told what happened at Valley Over, and that was the news, right?
Yeah.
So all these things. And the reason I'm skeptical of them and think they're basically poison is that those ancient feelings of being informed, of a storytelling around a fire, of music, of teaching, these things are ancient and they're in our bones, right? And what the media is, what pop culture is, what even the top 50 music chart is, or the music is, it is a switcheroo. They swapped out that local culture where the storyteller, you knew him because he was in front of you. They swapped that out for Ariana Grande, or they swapped it out for Mission Impossible or whatever, right? Yeah. So it's like, we then rely on these corporate plastic creations for our sense of community, whereas before we had each other to do these things between each other. But we didn't have this third party that had shareholders and all this massive corporate interest and all this reasons to drop in propaganda and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess like it's a little hard for me to kind of just go along with the idea of like cavemen telling rock stories, but like Shakespeare and modern Shakespeare is about as far back as I'm willing to go, and Shakespeare presented stories and they took their stories on the road and people stole those stories and it was like proto-capitalism where they were
Oh
making
yeah.
money off of their stories and stuff.
But even those
And
Shakespeare stories, a lot of those were propaganda. A lot of it was pro
uh-huh. Yeah,
Christianity, pro
pro
the monarch.
Plantagenets.
Yeah,
Yep.
pro the monarch,
Mm-hmm.
pro the invasion of France. If you've read Henry V, I
Pro
mean,
the Crusades.
yeah,
Like
all
yeah,
kinds of weird stuff is in
yeah,
Shakespeare.
yeah, absolutely. Especially when you look into the histories, I mean, you get a lot of that. But even in some of the comedies, there's some underpinnings of those of that propaganda. But something like Shakespeare, though, you could see that it was portable and it was consumable and it had a lot more going for it than just the propaganda, right? And who knows how intentional that propaganda was, how much Shakespeare believed, how much was put in there later. We don't know, but a lot of people get something out of it. It did elevate the soul in
No, but
ways.
you got to put sugar on the pill.
You do, and that might come in the form of poetry. It also is a great. It's also a great way to sell booze. People love drinking while they're. Yeah, I mean, I used to work for the American Shakespeare Center, and I'm like, wow, a lot of our money is coming from merch and booze. Are we just selling booze? Was Shakespeare invented just to sell booze?
A lot of Falstaffs like Shakespeare.
Yeah, a lot of Falstaffs and Toby Belches. Yeah, I mean it's that. But when you think of something like Shakespeare as now, it's lauded as this like height of art, right? And but we forget that Shakespeare's no different than J.J. Abrams in many ways. Like the goals were the same: make money, get rich.
Yeah, jangle the keys.
Yeah, and share something that you care, share something that you love. You know, there's something something charming about sharing with each other. Something charming about how humanity always wants to share with each other. They want to take pictures of their food and share what they're eating and show people.
We're communal. I mean, we're simian.
Yeah.
Like, I think we came out of simian groups of 50 to 100, and that's for millions of years. That's what we were before culture.
Yeah, and I think that like Mickey Mouse laws have changed the way that arc works right now. Like Batman should be in public domain by now, and everyone should be able to make a Batman story. And maybe we've taken those archetypes away from people. And I'm with you that media has become such a tool of control. But if we don't talk about it, if we don't know about it, if we don't consume it, then we won't be able to point out to people that they're being brainwashed.
How am I doing it?
Well, you're existing outside of it.
Yeah, but if I'm not watching it, how am I able to? Do I need to be a drunkard to note that there's a drunkard there?
No, but Pharaoh Wittgenstein, I don't know what kind of activism you're involved in. I've been involved in activism for a long time, where where I've been going out and talking with people and meeting them at their level where they are on college campuses, on the street. I've done tons of these one-on-one activism, protests, all these things, and you can't do it if you don't have any common ground, if you have no cultural touchstones.
Yes, but the common ground I approach people with is the essence, the most common ground possible, like the most unaired, the most unmitigated, the most unpropagandized truth that we share between us is our basis, right? Is the philosophical essence.
Yeah, but they're under a spell they're under a spell that is mitigating or dampening that, right?
Yeah, no, it's difficult.
Okay, so if they're under that spell, wouldn't that serve us as activists, assuming that you want to change the world, wouldn't that serve us to understand that spell and watch that spell and see how it works? Like when I went to school I got a degree in English, and I was under this guy his name was Stephen Booth, Dr. Stephen Booth. He was a leading Shakespearean at the time, and his big thing was like dissecting pieces of literature to see why people like them. The reason why he loved Shakespeare was because he liked to rip it apart and dissect it like a frog in high school to see how it all worked and why people are responding the way they are to it. Why do people still love Hamlet 450 years later? It makes no sense that we're still into this guy. There's got to be something there. So keep digging.
Yeah. No. But I don't know if a person has a problem with alcoholism and this is the referent for the brainwashed person or the person you're trying to connect with. If they like, let's just say it's alcoholic, like so they have an alcohol problem. You don't go up to them and help them by giving them a different type of alcohol or like, oh, you're on whiskey, but this wine cooler will really be
No,
great.
that's not what I'm proposing at all.
Okay.
I'm saying that I would never go to an alcoholic. It's a great example and say, I've never tried alcohol and I have no idea what the effects of alcohol is, and I don't even know what it is, and I don't think anybody should drink it ever. And it's kind of like, well, people do drink it. There's a realpolitik we have to acknowledge. I don't want to be Kissinger here, but we got to acknowledge that this is the lay of the land. The lay of the land is that when people watch sports balls on TV, which is a huge thing, people love watching sports. It's fucking heavy propaganda throughout.
I think it's equivalent with news watching, but go on.
There's a lot to be said. It's very true, especially in modern politics, for sure. But in sports, we have the ads on the screen during ball play, between games, during the game, all the time. There's ads for animal flesh, and more animal flesh. And by the way,
don't forget
and pharmaceuticals to cure you from the diseases that animal flesh consumption gives you.
Yeah.
So it's I went to go see a movie on Sunday or Saturday or whatever, and it was like, it was an ad for fast. It was Wendy's, and then it was ad for eczema ad, and then it was one thing after the other where it's like these things are all. And then there was a one for toys. Oh, the eczema ad didn't work. It didn't cure your skin disease. Try a toy that'll cheer you up. It was all just like depression cures. But if I'm like a guy who's like, no one should watch sports, and sports are the devil and nobody should ever watch them, and I try to have this moral superiority, then how are they ever gonna
So I humor them. I go in and say, those 49ers, refrigerator Perry was sure great in '96, and
there you go.
I think I know things, sir. So let's talk about philosophy. It's like I don't think you need this segue. I think I understand your point that it helps to build rapport or what have you, but I mean, if you get deep with someone in a conversation, none of their interests matter, and none of your interests really matter.
You can't get through the front door.
Sure you can. Like that's all. I mean, that's all upaya, right? That's skillful method, like how good you are in talking to people and engaging with people, and you can do it. I don't think there's any reason why I need to watch the news to say. And here's the thing. I have been a drunk, right? I have watched news. I haven't literally been like a drunkard, but I have been drunk on news watching in previous years. So it's not like I'm coming totally ignorant to the situation. I know what it's like to wake up every day and think you know what's going on because you watched the news or read the paper, right? And I know also that from my opinion anyway, the same news stories, the same themes get replayed with different characters in different places by news over the decades. So I don't think I need to know the particulars of which place and what happened. Oh, the two sailors that got killed or whatever. Do I need that to go into someone and say, hey, do you remember how the news basically was an accomplice to the Iraq and Afghanistan war? Do you remember that at all? Like, I don't need to know anything about current events to know that, and to connect with someone about that objective fact.
I guess if we were, hold on a second. Let me read a couple. I got a couple of donations. No, you're great. ISIS, the airport Gestapo now, says Steffelson. Have fun getting harassed and missing your flights to own the libs, MAGA. The problem, Steffelson, is that MAGA don't fly. I don't think MAGA flies, but maybe they do. I saw that the Jackson Airport in Atlanta wasn't doing very well. If I could meet any historical fiction figure, says Steffelson, Shakespeare. You would want to meet Shakespeare. That's your historical figure. Love it. I don't know if I'd want to meet him. They say don't meet your heroes. I wouldn't want to meet him. I don't know. I guess if I were looking at an ant farm, right? let's zoom out. Wouldn't you want to know what they're into, what they're doing, what they're preoccupied with? Like, let's say you could elevate yourself, Farrell Wittgenstein. You still there?
Still here. Yep.
And let's say you can go 1,000 miles up, whatever, and see what is humanity up to. You're a student of humanity. Wouldn't you want to know all this shit?
I do know this shit. I mean, I know enough to I know from my past experience, and this is the point I just made, right? Like I've had experience where I know I think if you've had experience, you can talk to someone else about it. You don't need to have the particulars of the latest version of that experience.
No, you don't. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Like, I don't think that I use, when I do activism, it's not like I'm thinking about, hey, have you seen the latest episode of Bachelorette or whatever the hell? Because I don't watch that shit, you know? But I do like to keep my fingers and toes in kind of the waters of
No, you can't avoid it, right?
culture.
I mean, you get it. You get your toes are in there. I mean,
Yeah, right.
even though I'm active, I actively avoid any current events. I still get it third hand, second hand. I mean, I
You still
get
knew that Ariana Grande was in a Wizard of Oz.
I didn't know that actually.
You didn't know she was in a Wizard of Oz? Wow.
But I
don't
did
know how.
I did know there's some growing conflict with Iran. You know, I've heard about that. You know, so it's like I still have a,
We're at
I
war, baby.
fair enough. I mean, it's the same old script, right? So I could probably give you the next step and the next step and the next step without knowing anything about it.
But don't you want to know when if you see a mushroom cloud on the horizon, you can kind of like, well, kind of saw this one coming a little bit. Don't you? Don't you just? Is there something about being alive and wanting to know
Jack,
the
if
lay
I
of
saw
the
that
land?
mushroom cloud, if I saw that mushroom cloud, me not having all this stuff rattling around my head would make me ready for it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I think that there's something to being someone who loves humanity, loves human beings. I'd like to know what they got going on in their brains. Like I really hate the Kim Kardashian stuff. I've never watched a full episode of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I know who the Kardashians are, and I I don't know. It's not like I want to talk about it with somebody or anything or participate, but I feel like I'm cutting off something.
Hold on, Jack. Do you have a mirror in your room right now?
Yes.
Okay, look at that mirror.
Hey, sexy.
Yeah, you want
Oh,
to know
that's
how
me.
people you want to know how people feel? It's right there. It's right now. That's exactly how people are and feel.
How
It's
come
the
no one told me my hair was messed up?
it's the active present. I mean, the essence is shared by everybody. So if you want to get on, if you love people, if you want to get connected with people intimately, like directly, you go right down to this universal basis. I mean, this is where we all share the beingness, the active presence of right now. I mean, if you love people, that's where you go. You go right to the root.
So let me tell you about Gallifrey. Gallifrey is the planet where Doctor Who is from.
Okay.
Doctor Who looks like a human. He kind of acts like a human. Everyone thinks he's human. He walks around, and he's got something. He loves human beings. He loves them. He can't really always explain why he loves them so much, but he loves them, and he wants to protect them. And I've always felt kind of like that. I never feel like I always feel like I'm a bit of an outsider. Always have.
Well,
Felt like
Doctor Who is actually I haven't seen a single episode, but in saying that he likes people, quote unquote, he's actually separating himself off from people, and he's asserting that he's a separative entity from other living beings.
he is, but he loves them so much that he can't stop thinking about them. He
No, but
loves them and he wants
he
to watch
actually
them.
loves the separativeness. Like he actually loves the fact that he's a separate entity, observing them as a separate entity. And to
Maybe he
me,
does. I mean, after all, he is Gallifreyan. He is not human.
he's not. He's no. He shares the same. He feels exactly like the humans he claims
He
to be
does.
interested in.
He feels like them, but he's got two hearts, and he's got he's got a couple things. He's a time traveler, you know. He's got some perspective and he lives forever. Human beings don't. So he's got a little bit of a perspective that human beings will never have. But
I guess what I'm saying is that he is a lamp, a very unique lamp with two lights and three hearts
Yeah.
or whatever.
But he's still a lamp.
You're a single lamp. We all connect to the same electricity. You are much more the electricity than the lamp.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I like the idea of the energy of the universe. You know, like a drop of the ocean splashing, and that's what humanity is. I like.
But that's what you are. I mean, right now, you're not Jack. You're not this self narrative with a name. This is
Right.
this is a linguistic, cultural word that you think you are, or that most people think they are.
Yeah, but by saying that doesn't dismiss the reality. It's still a fact of life that even if we're in Plato's cave and we're all, that's a good, how about Plato's cave? We're all watching the figures on the wall and no one turns around to see what we're just accepting what's the shadows on the wall is reality. We're not looking around to see.
Apropos.
Right. So I think that, yes, I want to know what everyone is looking at on the wall, but I also want to look back and see what the hell is going on back here. And I don't think that there's something that I think is an expression of love for my fellow humans to want to participate and understand what the hell they're watching.
No, you're keeping them in the cave chained up.
I want to say, you see these lights and these figures. There's someone behind you pulling. They're doing hand puppets.
Yeah, I agree with that. But to sit there with them and say, oh yeah, look at this lie that they're putting over on all of us, or let's engage with this football or this whatever, right? I mean, that's what you're saying, is you have to have some sort of quasi engagement with it. Meanwhile, like while you're quasi engaging with them to build rapport, I'm leading them out by the hand out of the cave.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's a team effort. I hope that you're leading them out, but I have to be the person who has to say, well, I see why you like this.
Sure, and I do too. I mean,
I enjoy it too, but we have to acknowledge that this is absurd, and the people doing the hand puppets behind us, they're pulling the strings. We can all enjoy a puppet show, but if you don't acknowledge that someone is pulling the strings of the puppets, then you're not enjoying a puppet show. You're fooling yourself. That's, I guess, the thing, right? Like, most people are watching the puppet show and not realizing that it's a puppet. It's like watching wrestling and thinking that it's real. I'm like, I understand why you like kayfabe. I understand why you like this shit, but it's kayfabe. It's not real, guys.
Yeah. If you can get to that point with people, I think it's a breakthrough.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess this all came through the discussion of, does one need to engage with the thing that they are critiquing to properly critique it, or to properly convert or support someone who is engaged with that thing? And I don't think you need to. And I think you're a little bit on the fence, maybe, but I think you're more on the other side.
I think we're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars, and we have to convince everyone else to come up and look at the stars. Hey, we're all in the gutter, guys. I can't be outside the gutter and being like, hey, I'm up here at the stars. No, I got to be looking at the stars with you guys and saying, come on, let's go. But
I think that's what anyone can do is activism, right? Any person can connect with their little local group, their friends, their family. The people they have most effect over, the people that have most chance of listening to them, the people that already know and love them, right? Not the random strangers at an event or something they misunderstand or refuse to understand. Like, if every person just in their own local circle shared this point about the essence and like the universality of life and the critiques about the Plato's cave and the illusions, it would be an undetectable revolution. Everyone it would ripple forth from such people. The people they talk to, the friends, the family, would slowly start to walk away from the shadows on the cave wall, and it wouldn't even be detectable by even all these ultra, algorithm seeking, what's the word? Just the surveillance, right? No surveillance could capture that, because it's so local. And I think if everyone did that, it would be unstoppable.
But they're not going to do it spontaneously. They're going to need people who are in there with them and compatriots, and to see like, hey, it's kind of, I always liken it to, I've said this so many times, I feel like in kindergarten, when it's nap time and you're the first kid that wakes up and you see all the other kids still asleep, and you're like, hey, it's time to wake up and play, guys, let's go. But you can't, because nap time isn't over, and everyone's still just napping, and you're trying to wake everybody up, but they're still sleeping. I feel like you kind of have to have been in the nap room. You kind of have to be there with them in order to get it going. I can't be outside the room knocking to let me in.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think we all are in that room. I mean, I think by virtue of being born in the world, I think we're in that room.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah. Well, also, I mean, how many times I feel like that happens a lot in MAGA. I think it's happening in. You see it start to happen. Like people aren't gonna. MAGAs are not gonna believe me because I'm not one of them. But there are people in MAGA that are waking up and like going, "Hey, this war in Iran, this guy's gonna kill people." Like
Yeah.
and they might listen to other MAGAs. And there are people who are like people like I hate Tucker Carlson, but he's one of the guys talking about how this president is a charlatan and he's leading us into war. How could he do that if he wasn't ears to the rails, understanding what's happening, and part of that movement? I don't think
Yeah.
he.
No, it's
Yeah,
another. It's almost another point for non-partisanship, right? I mean, if you can be neutral, the partisans may be more likely to hear you out.
maybe I'd like to think that, but listen to where I'm at. I'm anti-partisanship, and yet what that earns me is hatred from both sides. I get people the liberals hate me and the MAGAs hate me.
Me too, my friend. We're
Yeah.
very similar in that respect. Yeah.
No, so it's like, yeah, you'd think that gave you some kind of credibility or some kind of social capital, but it doesn't. They're like, oh, you're too good for us. It's the same thing with being vegan. Oh, you think you're better than me because you're vegan?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm saying, please wake up. You're being controlled by the corporations.
Yeah. You got to note. You got to write down in your notepad. There's a John Cleese video. It's called look up John Cleese and then independence. Like independent party style, because he goes over that very point in comic detail about how the left and the right both detest the guy who won't, who's just like the average independent guy who's like, I don't know about any of this.
Yeah. Oh, they also hate the guy who's saying, "Hey, everybody, get." I mean, they killed Fred Hampton in his sleep because he had he had poor whites, blacks, Puerto Ricans. He got the Rainbow Coalition going, and it's okay. You have freedom of speech if you go out into the desert and yell it at the sky. You can do that all day. But the second you get an audience and have any kind of effect, any kind of efficacy, then they'll shoot you. They'll kill you, and they'll both sides will leap for joy.
Yep.
You know.
I know I've been rambling and like talking too much here, but there's a great John Stuart Mill quote I'd love to read.
Yes, please. I love John Stuart Mill, please.
And you've probably heard this quote because it's basically your entire raison d'etre of what you're trying to do here, I think. But here it goes. It's from On Liberty. It says, "He who knows only his own side of a case knows little of that. His reasons may be good, and no one may be able to refute them. But if he is equally unable to refute the reasons of the opposite side, if he does not so much as know what they are, he has no ground for preferring either opinion. Nor is it enough that he should hear the arguments of the adversaries from his own teachers, presented as they state them, and accompanied by what they offer as refutations. That is no way to do justice to the arguments or bring them into real contact with his own mind. He must be able to hear them from persons who actually believe them, who defend them in earnest, and do their very utmost for them. He must know them in their most plausible and persuasive form."
John Stuart Mills, everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I think the same thing might be going for popular culture, zeitgeisty shit, though, too. Like, there's certainly a place to be entertained as well, by the way. Like, we haven't even touched that. Like,
Sure.
there has to be some downtime, and a lot of that comes in the form of idle entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is when everyone is just doing bread and circuses, right? We have to have some kind of balance there. And how do we find that balance in a corporate world bent on making you watch as much as possible? It's like trying to smoke one cigarette a day when cigarettes are engineered to make you smoke 2 packs a day.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well, you have to, that's why I think everything comes down to self-understanding and it being your own ballast. I mean, you have to be so strong in yourself. This is the Kali Yuga. I mean, it's the worst age of the Hindu ideology, right? Where it's 3/4 bad to 1/4 good. And I think we're supposed to be in this age for like hundreds of thousands more years. But anyway, the point is that
just talking about the age of
difficulty-
Aquarius.
Yeah, I don't know much about that stuff, but I mean, I've just heard the Kali Yuga is what we're in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so the difficulty makes it it's the most difficult time to be a good person, right? But it's also the most efficacious time to learn, right? Because again, I'm sorry I'm rambling here, but the problem with the other yugas is that they're too perfect, so no one evolves, right? So everyone just sits on their cloud and enjoys their nectar tea and or coffee as they prefer, and they just sit there for eons, right? With no learning, no understanding, no sharpening.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't. I feel like in reality that doesn't happen. It seems to be a 100-year cycle where we build institutions to never have a bloodbath again, and then those institutions breed complacency, and then that complacency breeds anxiety, and now we're in anxiety. We're in anxiety mode again, and so we're going to tear down the institutions so that we can have another bloodbath. But
yeah, probably. I mean, we need a League of Nations. I think we should invent that.
we should do something like that, something with no veto power this time. All right, well, Farrell Wittgenstein, I do appreciate batting at the fences with you. I really do.
Yeah,
and thank you
pleasure.
for coming on and talking with me about cult behavior and partisanship. And cheers.
Tea is better than coffee. Tea is better than coffee.
Tea is. I love tea. I used to own a tea shop. I love tea.
Okay.
There's
can't
different
find a hard edge. We need to find a harder edge between us so we can actually get to like fighting.
I love tea, but only not in the morning. Like, what the fuck is the point of tea in the morning? I drink coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon, and that is and some kind of alcoholic beverage at night or just water.
All right, good kicking, my friend. I'll let you wrap up or do what you need to do.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Farrell Wittgenstein, everybody. Thank you so much. I see a person right here. If Trump was a fascist, you wouldn't be able to voice an opinion like that. Wrong. Fascism isn't something that happens overnight. It's a thing. It's just a state of being. It's a description of something. A fascist control. You're saying that he doesn't have complete control yet? Sure, that doesn't change the fact that he's a fascist. Fascists have a way of them, and then they exercise that control over all of us. Saying that Donald Trump isn't a fascist because I still haven't been black bagged yet does not mean there's that word yet. Well, you wouldn't be able to have that conversation if we were fascists. Look, man, we're still in the early stages. Trump's only been here for a year, and now they're beating people up at the airport and causing people to get new IDs and forcing people to do new purity tests in order to have the right to vote. We're already here. I'm also, by the way, doing my last show on public radio tonight because of Donald Trump. Trump has censored me personally. I lost my freedom of speech. My show is going to digital that used to be on FM because the FCC won't let me be me, so let me see. Look, the FCC is all the way up my asshole because of my public radio show. And now it's being semi-canceled and put it on HD. So, Brodo Coda, you just don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't know, now you know, vegan. PBS. Yeah, I'm not a PBS. I'm a KPFT. KPFT in Houston, Texas. In 2 hours, I will be on that show. I will be the last show on the FM until we go to digital. I'm going to do a whole show on the history of silencing dissent and how they keep us quiet. That's what's happening. Yes. Oh, am I wrong? Why don't you come on the show? Come on the show and you can talk to me about it. We can have a dialectic. You can come on the show. You can grow a pair of nuts and come on the show. You can talk about Trump is fascist. If you think I'm wrong, it's a call-in show. It's a call-in show, baby doll. Don't be such a little baby doll. Come on the show. You can go to morningsky.live/PYB. Come on the show. Don't be a chump. Don't be a simp. Or be a chump and a simp and be on the show and tell me what a chump and a simp you are for Donald J. Trump. Are you a hall monitor? Are you a bootlicker? Are you a simp, a snitch, and a sniveling bastard? Please call in. Let me know why Donald Trump is your Lord and Savior. Thank you so much. DS King of Kings says, well, Donald J. Trump can't be a fascist because insert sound of concrete goalposts sliding further and further into biblical hell. Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and you could see right here, fascism. Let's see. What did it say here? Let's see. It says fascism should more properly be called corporatism since it's the merger of state and corporate power. There you go, state and corporate power. Thank you so much for the donation, DS King of Kings. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, DS King of Kings, for putting a penny in the pot and helping support independent media. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DS King of Kings. Thank you so much. Yes, he's a fascist. I'm at work. Unfortunately, I would call in if I could. Yeah. Always the excuses with you, MAGers. Always with the excuses. MAGA's always got an excuse. I can't call in because I'm too busy. I'm too busy to just saying this other thing. I'm too busy because I got this other thing that's going on. But I'm watching you, but I can't. Trump is a fascist. Attempting to overturn an election? Fascism. Pressuring officials to falsify results? A fascist. Inciting a mob to storm the Capitol? Fascist. Calling political opponents vermin and the enemy within? Fascist. Proposing to deploy the military against citizens? Fascist. Promising retribution against prosecution and judges? Fascists. These are not behaviors of a democratic politician who lost. They are the behaviors of an authoritarian who refuses to accept limits on power. The actions, not just the words, are fascist in structure. Donald Trump is a fascist. If he looks like a fascist and walks like a fascist and talks like a fascist, he is a fascist. America is chicken out in Iran. We laugh at America here in Europe. What a clown country. We got a clown president. Have you seen how much makeup he wears? He cakes it on. He puts so much makeup on his face. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. It looks like some people don't know what fascism is, but there's 14 points, the 14 features of Fascism by Umberto Eco and Robert Paxton's Fascism Framework, Jason Stanley's analysis, all describe cult of the leader, appeals to national humiliation, contempt for democratic institutions, enemy scapegoating, glorification of violence, and the merger of party with state. Trump's movement demonstrates all of these, not as a metaphor, but as documented behavior and stated policy. Donald Trump is a fascist. Donald Trump is a fascist. Yep, I made a whole video about it. You can go watch it if you are at work. You can go watch a video. You can argue with that. Well, let's just wait till it gets worse then, some people like this idiot in my chat. This idiot in my chat likes to say, oh, let's just wait till it gets worse. Let's wait till it gets worse. Let's wait till they really put all of us in concentration camps. Every historian of the 20th century, fascism has noted that the same pattern occurs. The people who could have stopped it kept insisting it wasn't really fascism yet. This isn't really fascism. The deliberate vagueness. He's just trolling. He doesn't mean it literally. It's just a feature of the movement, not a rebuttal of the analysis. Naming it accurately is not alarmism. It's the minimum due diligence of a free society. Wake up. You're a fascist. Wake up. You've been a fascist this whole time, and you just don't know it. You just don't know what fascism is. You just plumb don't know. You got all the time in the world to leave a comment in the chat, though, don't you? Can't get on the channel, though. Jared Kushner is the Antichrist, but Dems and Republicans are both the same party. They just think they aren't controlled by the same elites. Haha, monkeys. Kevin Nelson, I have a thing there. Partisanship is cult behavior. Would you like to come on the show and talk about it, or are you too much of a coward? Come on the show. You can tell me all about how fascism and partisanship is cult behavior. Partisanship is cult behavior. You're absolutely right. Juan Valdez is colonizer for Columbia Coffee. Juan Valdez, yeah. What was that coffee? Was it just Colombian coffee? Yeah. You love Juan Valdez, though, don't you? Navia, thanks for putting that up there. They're too afraid to come on. They're too afraid. It's true. America's not good in keeping world peace. I guess the only thing they are good at is drinking beer and watching NASCAR. No. We're really good at enslaving millions. We're really good at killing brown people. Americans are great at killing brown people. Ask the Native Americans. they're 90% gone. Like we're still working on it, but 90% of them are gone. You know, Americans are really good at that. Really good at enslaving others. Sometimes they enslave people without them even knowing. I mean, think about it. We abolished slavery, and then we just put all the black people in jail, as many as we can. And then the 13th Amendment says that slavery is okay to use as a punishment for crimes. So we still have slavery in America. Slavery, it's a perennial favorite. People love slavery in America. It's a good time. It's a good time. Thank you so much for joining. It's always white liberals. Yeah, I hate white liberals. I do. I hate white liberals. Thank you. I do hate white liberals. I do. Kamala did that. Yeah, I'm not a Kamala. Are you a Kamala Harris fan? I'm not a Kamala. You must love Kamala Harris. Paul, you're a big fan? I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris. I guess you must be. You must be a fan. I don't have time to call in because work, though, proceeds to constantly type in the chat. I know. I know. That's what's so funny. That's why it's like I just don't take any of these maggers seriously. You can't trust maggers. You know you can't. All right. I'm over. It's over. It's over now. Oh, you're a fan. I knew you were a fan. I knew you were a fan. I knew you were a fan. All right. That's the show. It's 2 hours long. It's at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I appreciate you all being here. Illegitimate non-carburetum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. If you care, you can look at 5 o'clock in about 1 hour and 45 minutes. I'll have a show on kpft.org, KPFT Houston, Texas, 90.1 FM on the FM dial, Pacifica Radio. It's the last time because I have been silenced. We're going on to digital radio because I have been silenced by by Brendan Carr, basically. Well, it's the station manager, but it's Brendan Carr has said that all people talking about slavery and exploitation must be taken off the air. So here we go. Hey, good show. Thank you so much for supporting independent media and Honest Doubter. Well, how come you're not a channel member? Become a Sky City Rebel. Become a Sky City Rebel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very much for that. But don't forget, we also have...
I get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
A rebel. Yeah, come on the show and you could be a rebel with me. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Can we get some Sky City Rebel emojis in the chat for our wonderful person, an Honest Doubter, who just gave his first donation to support the channel. Thank you. Silence of the Trumps, indeed. All right, this is the end of the show. It's the 23rd of March, and this is the end of it. Oh, you missed it. You missed it, Florida Blondie. It's over now. It's too bad. You could have called in. Unless you want to call in, Florida Blondie, you want to call in? Skyjack. It's at morningsky.live/PYB. Morningsky.live/PYB. Billy Talent, you're too much of a coward to come on the show. Your opinion means nothing. Thank you so much for playing, though. It's been great. All right, so we are going to come on the show, dumb shit. If this is a call-in show, I don't have time to argue with your idiotic shit in the chat. You can't refute any of my argument. Come on the show. Come on the show. You're too scared. You don't want to come on the show? You don't get to argue. That's it. I'll call. Hey, Speaker Sargon of Akkad. Okay, call in. Call in right now. Right now. Call in right now. Go to morningsky.live/PYB. And if you're looking, it's W balls. Everybody wants to hear that shit. A W balls, a W balls, a W balls. It's 69.9 on the FM dial. If you're looking, it's W balls. Everybody wants balls to hear that shit. On W balls, on W balls, on W balls. Come on, Steve. All right, Steve. Yeah, it's going away. I'm waiting on your call. You said you'd call. A ding dang do. He's 39 years old and he's got a ding, a dang, and a do. Let's bring him on the stage. It is Ding Dang Do. How you doing, Ding Dang Do?
I'm doing pretty good. What's good? What's good, my friend?
Hey, we're at war, but I'm over here. So, for right now, I'm feeling fun and fancy free, feeling fit. I went on a nice long walk today. I'm trying to lose some of this weight, this winter weight.
A winter weight. That chubby boy energy. He's trying to get rid of it.
I'm trying to get rid of this.
All the fats.
I'm trying, man. It's like it gives me back problems. I stand up when I do these shows, and it's giving me some back problems having all this
being
weight.
6'5" would give you back problems. I don't think humans are supposed to be that tall.
They're not supposed to be this tall. I'm like I
think
have
the Mexicans around 5'2". That's the peak form for humanity.
Right here is my ceiling fan. I'm touching it right now. That's how I have a ceiling fan right over my head. But what do you like on this is the new show for this week, the new topics.
Yeah,
do you
really
like the topics?
Smooth coming in. That's going to be helpful once you can find some MAGA guys that have some testicles, I suppose.
They don't have any.
Them eventually.
I don't believe.
I didn't catch the show, but I bet many didn't come through. It's just getting harder and harder to defend Donald Trump, bro. I mean,
but I don't even have MAGA stuff on here. It's like there's only one thing about Trump. The rest is all. I keep the Trump one on there because I know people like it.
Well, I mean, it's Western politics, bro. What are we going to talk about other than DJT?
That DJT is a perennial favorite. So what do you want to talk about today? My
leftist retardation and refusal to acknowledge reality. That's always a topic I love, getting you to confront the reality that you have brought forth for us all to enjoy, and giving me examples of why I'm not seeing what I'm seeing because I'm a racist. I love that shit. So if we could dive right into that, how about that?
Sure. What have you got? What's your...
Oh, Jesus. The other day I made a comment on one of your little shorts where you you said standard lowering is a myth. And I was thinking to myself, does this man who's known me for a couple of weeks now, a couple of months, we've talked multiple times, does this man really think that I can't go and find one example of leftist retardation costing people's lives?
What do you mean? I don't remember that you said this. Could you repeat your what did I say? There's no standard what?
You said the lowering of standards
is not
DEI's propagandist worldview is
lowering
not real.
standards.
It's a myth.
Lowering standards is not DEI.
Lowering standards fits perfectly within the framework of DEI.
Prove it.
Perfectly. Very well, sir. I have one example of how DEI allowed for, I think I sent you something on Venmo, my friend. It should be the second comment down.
Let's see it.
I'm
going to look it up right now. I haven't looked at the
Not
Venmo
the first comment. That's the top comment from me would be my reaction calling you a ridiculous partisan.
A ridiculous partisan, but I hate the parties.
Yes. I know, but you love leftism.
Leftism. Okay, let's see. Imagine if Trump called her a
not that
word.
One.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Okay, the other one. Okay, I'm on it. This is a Daily Mail link.
It is. Just the headline, if you don't mind.
Dietitian bluffed way senior NHS job struck colleagues, discovered didn't know intestines, gallbladder did calculate BMI.
Okay. Now, mind you, this is a government position, I believe, that wanted a dietitian. They didn't really advertise that they were looking for white people, but they found this lady and they were like, hey, you hit all of the marks of DEI. You're Ugandan. You're an educated black woman. You're empowered. Come on over here and be a dietitian. lover? And she said, absolutely. I've got all kinds of magic rocks I can feed people. That'll help them lose weight. And now, she was the only one to apply to the position, but let's just go out and say it. If anyone else had, do you really think they would have ignored her over anyone else?
I don't know. I think it's interesting already that you're talking about the NHS, which is a UK thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like leftism is stuck in the USA.
No, no, it's just weird that out of all the shit, you're like, DEI lower standards. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. That's not even one of the reasons DEI, that's affirmative action, not DEI. Like affirmative action.
Blah, 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 blah. What are we talking about here?
You're not, because I'm talking about, you either, every time you bring up DEI, all of you guys against it are just because you want to say racist shit will say, no, you're lowering standards for black people. That's how DEI is. You could claim there was some aspects of affirmative action that was the case, but that's not the case about DEI.
Okay.
And you bring an example from UK.
You didn't find one from the USA, therefore the entirety of your argument is wrong. Okay, fantastic argument, Sky. Fucking 5 out of 10. I mean, 10 out of 10 on that one. 11 out of 10.
I just think it's a little fun. It's a little fun that out of all the places you could have looked, like I was actually thought you might have had me, to be honest, Steve.
Buddy is source shaming me. Everyone in the chat, Sky is source shaming me right now.
No, you went to UK and found a fact that some lady did some weird shit as a dietitian at the NHS, the National Health Services of the UK. I don't know that applies to DEI as far as I understand it in American applications. Maybe they got the same thing over in the UK. They got other shit going on. I don't know. I'm not from there.
They got it worse than we've got because the quality of immigrants they're getting is not like ours because they're land connected to all these other third world shitholes. And
the
everybody
UK
knows.
Isn't land collected. What do you mean? They're an island, homie.
What do you mean? Oh my God! So you can't get on a little boat and go like 100 miles? What are these little boats over here? What do they do?
You said they're land connected. Land connected. They got you got to cross.
That would be like saying like Cuba's not connected to us. Yeah, like there's no connection. Okay, whatever. Oh, there's a little bit of a boat ride, guys.
Okay, fair enough.
We're completely. We're on the moon.
I got a donation.
Nice.
Saying that you can't talk about slavery, which is part of the American history, is fascist. It's slowly becoming normal, and that is not good. Joined late, but still good. Thank you, Draco Rose. My show is being taken off the FM radios after today. Today's the last episode.
Well, that means it sucked.
No, it's because the chilling effect of Brendan Carr. It really is. They want to play more music and less talk, and the reasons they gave was because I didn't talk enough about the health benefits of veganism, and I criticized the president at some point. Oh, and I also said the word. I didn't say it. My guest said the word Super Bowl. That was also brought up, but I think that's bullshit. But those are the reasons.
To that content.
Those are the reasons they gave.
I hope it meant something to you at least.
I like speaking up for the underclasses and those who are suffering, those who are exploited. I like doing that. It's my hobby, speaking up for those who can't speak up for themselves.
Poor white people. Then
I speak up for poor white people all the time. In fact, I'm about to do a debate with George Martin because I think that the poor, doesn't have to be white, but the poor are the most oppressed class in the West. And there's
okay.
So absolutely,
obviously true thing. Obviously true thing. What's his argument going to be? No, they're not. They get all kinds of good shit. What the fuck?
Get this shit. So I'm about to have a debate with a guy who thinks that animals are the only oppressed class of the West. But you'd like him. He's a racist vegan. And nice. I think you'll enjoy.
Well, I know
debate.
what you call racist, so there's probably a very wide spectrum of what he actually is, and racists really only fly in circles of their own radicalosity. So
well,
no,
you can watch it and you could tell me because I think that I'd love you to tell me. You could tell me. I'd love for you to watch it and see. Where's the debate? The debate, we don't have a date yet for that debate, but the debate will be on the Carnism Debunked channel. And you can subscribe and watch my my community tab. I will definitely share it for everybody. A racist vegan debating Adolf. Well, of course, Adolf Hitler was not even vegetarian, but whatever. Everything that takes me down.
Vegetarian lifestyle. Can't you at least compliment him on that?
He didn't though. That was all propaganda from Goebbels.
Like propaganda.
He didn't smoke. He was an animal lover. He was vegetarian. He was like, that was all bullshit. The people, like, they have the menus. We have the menus that his servants made him, and it's like there's nothing vegetarian about them. It's just some propaganda that lives on. DS King of Kings, thank you for the donation. Everything that takes me down in this deep state, is the deep state. Everything that takes you down is clearly because you suck. Brain dead, tribalistic thinking on display. Brain dead, tribalistic thinking on display. Are you talking to me, DS King of Kings? Jeez Louise.
He could be talking to me on that one.
Could be talking to you.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, I do like that. I like how with the spin, like everything is spin. We always spin shit. Like if we get a flat tire, I've seen TYT talk about how a government, what was the fucking Chunk Uger was running for office. He got a flat tire, and then Anna Kasparian blamed that flat tire on sabotage. Like, what the fuck, bro? These people, we'll all spin everything. Like, if it rains on my birthday, it was obviously black people doing a rain dance.
It was the Jewish space lasers, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that the Jews could control the weather, but global warming, humans have no effect on global climate change. But we can control but Jews can control the weather.
Yeah, I saw it today. There was this man. I'll just put my last little thing, and I'll let you go because I know you want to go get back to sitting on your couch and typing.
Actually, I have to prepare for my radio show, so I have a radio show that starts in an hour and a half.
Don't let me hold you over, friend. My story's not that great, but
I love your story. I want to hear the story, Steve. Everybody wants to hear the story, but just to answer, yes, I'm talking about George Martin. He and I and Natalie and Plants and Plates, we're going to have a 4-person debate. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll enjoy for sure.
You'll have a good time. What's your story?
My little story is coming out of Indiana. There was one of those little roadwork things where they have the signs on them that makes you change a lane, and they had parked it in a work zone, and they were making people change lane or get out of the way of a duck that was on the highway. So there you go.
I always think that's funny, and people will do that, and then they'll literally, that same guy will go and wait in the drive-through at Chick-fil-A right after that.
Exactly.
It's like the hypocrisy drives me fucking up the wall, man. You see it all the time. People be like, "Don't." They will. There was a story. It was so funny. It's not really funny. A guy got out of his car and tried to help some ducks crossing the road, like a mama duck and her little ducklings. Very, cute thing to see. Gets out of his car, gets killed. He's killed in front of his kids. His kids watch their father die, and later on, you see the interviews, and they've got Kentucky Fried Chicken in the house, like right in the background of the shot. And you're like, what? Like, your dad died for a bird, and then you went, or I guess a bunch of birds. Your dad died for a bird and a couple little baby birds, and then you went and ate a bird. Like, that doesn't compute.
Is it cognitive dissonance, or is it some sort of other filter? So people don't, like, a wild animal is somehow above chickens in cages.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's propaganda. They're subject to. I guess, like, cognitive dissonance would be the discomfort that comes from having those two opposing ideas, but they don't even experience that. They don't experience the cognitive dissonance. They don't even acknowledge that birds are animals. Birds are just, or that chickens are animals. That's the thing. The mama duck is an animal. The bird in the cage isn't. It's a thing. It's an it. And
that's interesting. But yeah, we are fucked. I think you're onto something with that. Like, not just like, oh, you might be. No, like, there's something there that's you don't believe in the invisible world, but that smacks of other things we do and exist in. You know what I mean? Like, there's something metaphysical there, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you might blame the metaphysical, but I blame the power structures and the hierarchies that got us.
Like
We see
yeah.
tens of thousands of ads a day of dead chickens for sale, and we never see the chicken as an animal. We see the animal as parts on a TV screen, and the sauce and the smell and like. So we
I think the cruelty of it is like the point at some for on a
kinda.
metaphysical level for me, because like you don't like the shit with Epstein's, like you don't eat the fucking kids unless there's something extra, because there's probably no more nutrition in a child's leg than you would get from whatever else kind of food. There's something extra, some extra layer of savagery that is applied, I think, to certain things. And maybe us seeing animals this way is a part of it. Making it bad, it gets people something, gets a demon's rocks off, is my opinion.
Well, yeah, I think that you're onto something there. It's about personhood. We see wild animals as persons, whether or not you want to call them persons. We do. We see the crow fly or the hawk fly or the dolphin, and we think, wow, they're free and they're making their own decisions. They have autonomy, and we respect that when we see it. But the same thing when we have slaves, we demonize them, or we don't even have to demonize them. We just depersonize them, and we do that with our enemies. Like you talk about savagery, we do that right now with the Iranians. We did it with the Japanese. We do it with anyone who's our enemy. We do it with trans people. We do it with Jews. Anybody who is the scapegoat or we can buy and sell, we do that too. And it's savagery. You're right. Yeah.
Well, I will try to examine my own biases in the future with such things, but I'm still going to call you a retarded leftist, and
that's perfectly
I don't
acceptable.
care.
I don't mind.
I'll catch your show tomorrow. I watched it today after, but I didn't really see anything where I would want to interject.
Well, tomorrow we'll have the show again, and we'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow on the show. If anybody wants to watch the 90.1 FM show, it's the last one, 91.1 FM. You can listen live at kpft.org. But in the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, Steve, for joining me at the last second.
Day.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting the show. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.